Boom, baby, we're live. Welcome to Interview with the Man, episode 738, the reaction to the Orlando Mega Mansion event that we just recently had here in Orlando, Florida. We're going to be breaking it down. There'll be a couple of guests that come on throughout this show, but don't forget, on August 1st, we are going live with the Masculine Empowerment Network, Total Dating Mastery. The whole thing is coming right now. Take a quick look right here, and we're going to get started. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, MLD, and I'm back today with a special message for you. But before I get going, I just want to ask you one quick question. Are you ready for a massive change in your life? Right now, looking at the state of the world, I'm happy to say that we are making progress. I believe that we are winning the culture war, and I do believe that there are greener pastures ahead, despite all of the propaganda that is designed to make you feel disenfranchised and, quite frankly, black-pilled. The elites and the people who are controlling the world are absolutely losing ground to men like us who desire quality life, to be free, and to have choice in our dating, relationships, financial success, and so much more. And I want to make the opportunity available for you to get your piece of the pie. And that's why I'm here to talk to you once again about the Masculine Empowerment Network. Starting on August 1st, we are beginning enrollment for the 2024 calendar year. And this is my personal community that is dedicated to elevating your life in 4 aspects that I believe are the most important for men: money, muscles, game, and frame. This network has been operational since 2019, and our members have exceeded over 10,000 men across the globe. And we are only growing stronger and better every single year. As you know, I recently took a little bit of a break from YouTube, but I was offline training my elite group of members in my community. And I'm back now with a refined approach, re-energized and ready to attack and help give you the life that you want. The Masculine Empowerment Network is a 3-part program. And I'm happy to say this time I'm going to be introducing my first ever Total Dating Mastery hybrid course, which is a culmination of all of my previous courses, including Body Language Mastery, SALT, the Dark Pass, and Pandemic Pickup. This course is engineered to help you master text message game, online dating apps, cold approach, vetting a woman, helping put her on your rotation, or vetting her to be your girlfriend and or wife. This is a gigantic value that I've been putting together for the longest time, and I'm putting the best pieces from all my courses in this hybrid course that is aimed to make you walk away from all of your dating troubles for the rest of your life. The second part of Masculine Empowerment Network is our live webinar training. Starting on August 12th, we will be engaging in 20 webinars, which each have no time limit, which is going to be led by me and my team of men from the Masculine Empowerment Network, talking to you about the core fundamentals of money, muscles, game, and frame to help you maximize your potential as a man, so you no longer have to feel defeated, depressed, alone, unworthy, and plagued with tons of negative thoughts. These will be starting at 9 p.m. Eastern and 9 a.m. Eastern every single day, Monday to Friday, from August 12th to August 23rd. If you can't attend them live, that's okay, because they're going to be recorded and you'll be able to watch them for the rest of your life. In addition to that, after every session, we have an open Q&A panel, which allows you to directly ask your question to the leader who is speaking that day in his area of excellence, whether it's money, muscles, game, or frame. Every man will get his questions answered, and no man will be left behind. In addition to that is our Masculine Empowerment Network Telegram chat. This is where you will be able to network with other high-value men around the world in order to grow your personal power as well as the other members of the group. We have had so many men from so many different walks of life. I'm talking millionaires, doctors, Navy SEALs, you name it. We have had them all through the Masculine Empowerment Network, and they are all very high-level guys that are added to the group. This is open 24 hours where you have immediate and direct access to me and all my leaders in the community to help answer your questions simply at the palm of your hands. If you have problems with your text message game, send a text message screenshot. We'll look at it and we'll tell you what to do. If you want to look good for your next photo shoot, send us the outfits. Try them on. We'll tell you if you look good. We'll tell you if you look bad. Are you feeling down, depressed, feeling worthless, feeling like you have just endless anxiety? Talk to us. We'll get you through it. That's what we've been doing since 2019, and we're only getting better as the years go on. It's a group of positive men that are all unified under one cause, and that is getting better at our lives and maximizing our approach to self-improvement. This will be available immediately as well. So as soon as you sign up, you're going to have a link, click on that, and you're in there. The third part of the Masculine Empowerment Network is our Masculine Empowerment Network database. Since 2019, we have recorded every single webinar we have ever done with all the big names across the masculine self-improvement space. And if you miss a webinar, it's okay because it's going to be put on that database. And in addition to that, you're going to have access to 4 complete years of training to catch you up and really have your own personal positive feed of masculine self-development where you can watch and see other men just like you on their masculine journey of self-improvement to help you feel like you're not alone and to answer all of your questions directly. With those 3 parts, that is what we are putting together with the Masculine Empowerment Network. However, I do have a bonus for you. For the first time ever, I am proud to announce that if you sign up for the Masculine Empowerment Network, you will be allowed to attend the Hawaii Masculine Empowerment Network Retreat. This will be only available to men who have joined the community, and we are going to be having a self-development live live-in training seminar in Honolulu, Hawaii, and it's going to be so amazing. As you know, we just did so many live events in Tokyo, Manila, and Orlando, Florida, and I really, truly believe that the power of us coming together and uniting and networking and learning and growing together is the most powerful asset you can ever have in the entire world. Join us, join our brotherhood, and know that we will not judge you, we will not put you down. We are all coming together to lift each other up and ascend to new heights as we march forward into what I believe to be a very, very bright future. And that leads me to my final point. For the first time ever in the history of the Masculine Empowerment Network, we are now adding a recruitment bonus where I will be paying you cash for bringing somebody who has never signed up to the Masculine Empowerment Network before. That's right. If you bring somebody to sign up for the Masculine Empowerment Network, I will pay you 50% of their sign-up fee after we complete the webinars and we get everybody on board. Because I truly believe that this is now the time to reach out to the brothers out there who want to help other people and reward you for doing the right thing, for growing the network, and continuing to win with me in the culture war. So don't forget, on August 1st, we are starting enrollment, and enrollment is only available for 5 days because we have to start the training on August 12th. So if that's something you're interested in, you can scan the QR code on the screen right now or go to masculineempowermentnetwork.com and get on the waiting list because enrollment will be done through email starting August 1st. I look forward to hanging out with you in the sun in Hawaii, teaching you in those webinars and helping you in the Telegram chat and so much more. Till then, I'll see you next time. That's what we got rocking and rolling. August 1st, the enrollment starts for you guys that are interested in getting back in. We already have 35 people on the waiting list right now.
within about a couple of days of promotion only. So if you're not on the waiting list, go right now to the masculineempowermentnetwork.com or scan that QR code right here in the upper right-hand corner. Get on the waiting list, join the community, guys, and we're going to help you out with whatever you need to level up with. Money Muscles Game Frame, we got you. If you just want to turn your life around, we are a group of community. We are community guys that are just like dedicated to improving our lives. You know, that's basically what it is. And if you want help with dating, easiest thing I could fix. I've been doing it time and time again, over and over again. It is no problemo, pretty easy to fix it. All you gotta do is do what we say and you'll be rocking and rolling. Don't forget also, added a little reminder for you guys to be consistent, stay disciplined, okay? It is Inner Game July. So if you're not joining us with the Inner Game July, these are the rules right here for Inner Game July. Help you make yourself feel way better. No eating out unless it's for business. Gym 3 times a week. You want to try and finish 4 books. We are at July 8th right now. So your first book should be in the bag, ideally. 1 self-improvement activity daily, tracking your weight, affirmations, and then number 7, no negative people. I know some people said like, oh, you know, I think Mike was talking about it in the chat. He said like, oh, you know, I failed. I hung out with negative people, but that's okay. It's like, if you got to go to events, you got to put up with these people. At least you're aware. At least you have the levels of like awareness to know, like, okay, I was hanging out with some, you know, some people that are just kind of, you know, annoying, quite frankly. So, you know, as long as you're aware and you want to make a change, that's all really that matters, in my opinion. Okay. And if you want to join us, join the Telegram chat. We have a free Telegram chat in the description box below for the Inner Game July support group. And that group is, how many people are on there right now? Let me just double check. We have at this moment 174 members, 174 people in there. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Looks like our friend Big Sky Traveler just posted some delicious like chicken and rice in there. Everybody's posting their heavy meals, their healthy meals, looking good, looking real good. So, yeah, man, I'm so excited to be here with you guys. So welcome to today's episode. This is the reaction to the Orlando Mega Mansion, where I'm going to actually just give you guys like a director's cut behind the scenes, reacting to what happened in the Orlando Mega Mansion and kind of just give you my take on things and show you that like there are men like you who are just trying to make their lives better. And they came on down to Orlando and they participated in a 4-day event. They arrived on Thursday, then we had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We did it all. We did photo shoots. We did tons and tons of seminars. We educated people on eating healthy. We fought, right? We hung out in the pool. You know, we networked. We crossed notes. It was just so many great things that we did there. And you really don't understand like the power of coming together. If you haven't come together, for me, this is a walk in the park. I've been doing this forever. And I know, like for me, even me going to these events, meeting up with people, you know, it's just so like, you guys don't understand. It's so beneficial for you just to get out there and meet people and meet other like-minded men, because, you know, you don't feel the need to like, you know, always have to hype yourself up, because these other guys are motivated and dedicated to do things with their lives. And so, you know, it's just the energy is contagious. It's just, honestly, it's just an amazing time. It really is an amazing time. You haven't done it. This is invite only. So how this works is after we have the Masculine Empowerment Network, from within the network, we allow guys to come to live events, because we don't just open our events to the public, because I don't know who is just like randomly going to come and join. But I know that when people join the group and they go through the education, I know like, okay, they have like a general intelligence, they have like a general dedication, and they have a general idea of what is going to be taught at these things. So there's like, you know, if it's like a brand new guy, you know, it's kind of like there's a big learning curve and it's just annoying. I was talking to King Dre the other day, right? And it was so funny because we were talking about how in these future events, like, just so you guys know, fighting is mandatory if you come to these events. And King Dre was like, well, what if somebody has like a medical condition or something? I was like, oh, go see a doctor. You know, you can't come. You fight or you leave. So can't fight, it's okay. Won't fight, not okay. So come on down and, be tested by fire. And I like it too. If you got to have a little bit of balls. I mean, hey, how the hell am I going to start a hot dude army if you guys can't fight, or if you're not even willing to fight? Okay. So shout out to all you guys, Hot Dude Army. Appreciate you guys being here. Let's get this bad boy cracking. We had a great interview, or excuse me, we had a great documentary here made by one of our members in the community, our brother Ozzy, and phenomenal work. And yeah, let's get this bad boy started.
So listen, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody for coming here to the Orlando Mega Mansion event. Give yourselves a round of applause for showing up. Okay, so as you guys know, I run the Masculine Empowerment Network, Inner Game Healing. I'm Jonathan from Modern Life Dating, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all of that is fine and dandy. I do that because that's what I believe I was called to do in this life. But what I believe is the most important thing is this right here. Okay. And it's not you guys giving me 200 or 500 bucks to fucking stay here, because that money's all gone anyways. This place is expensive, and so is the food. Okay. The point is I want you to look around to the guys around you, to your left and your right. Okay. If this man next to you decided to come out here and try to make himself a better man, that's what this is all about. Okay. From my research of what I've been doing, it seems to me that as society progresses and everything moves forward, we're becoming increasingly isolated. I don't know if you guys have a lot of friends and stuff where you are, but I'll tell you, all the money, all the women, all the status in the world does not mean anything if you do not have a brotherhood, a tribe, a community of guys. Okay. What we're doing here this weekend is what we're trying to emulate the highest level of success possible that I have, that Andrew has, and some of the other guys that came as well who already graduated from the program. Other guys in here like Jordan and stuff have been with me since day one. Okay. Our goal is to give you the total life transformation that you want. Okay. I have a good loser radar. Okay. None of you guys trip that thing at all. All right. We are here to serve you and to make you guys have the best life possible. That's on your terms. Okay. That's what this weekend's for. This weekend is not going to be some fancy pants, fucking, ritzy weekend. This is going to be a nitty-gritty weekend. We are going to look deep inside of you, and we're going to find out who you are, and we want to help you get to where you want to be. Okay. We want everybody in here making six figures. Ideally, we want you all to have a good relationship with a woman. We want you to be physically fit, not a big fucking fat mess of a person. And we want everybody's inner game dialed in to the degree that it needs to be dialed.
So for some of you guys, I think this is like a first time seeing the footage of it in like a live event. If this is your first time just seeing how we operate the training, just put a 1 in the chat right now. Let me just see who's a first timer here. I'm checking you across all platforms as well. Just put a quick 1 in the chat, because I wanted to see how you guys are actually responding and reacting to this, because I'm trying to figure out the best way to help you guys. So your feedback is absolutely so important. And I want to say, okay, shout out to you, Resonated Science, first time seeing the in-person coaching like this. Boys on Rumble, let me know as well. And we got okay, cool. Rumble's up and running. Just triple checking everything. Oh, you know what? I think I got 1 second. Let me pull this because I know I got the Instagram tab open. Where is the Instagram tab? There it is. Okay. And then shout out to the boys on Instagram. Okay. So cool. The new next also put a 1. Okay, great. So yeah, let us know. We're like I said, we're here to help you guys out. Okay, let's continue here.
Dialed in to get you guys the life that you want. Okay. But first and foremost, we want to make sure that all of you guys get what you want out of life. Okay. So I implore you, I like beg you guys to fucking get each other's phone numbers, link up, become friends, because there's power in numbers. And as you know, the thing is this too, everybody here just kind of looks like a normal guy, which is good, because we don't want to be running around waving my flag, like Money Muscles Game Frame, bitches, as much as I want to do that, it's always best to be in the fucking shadows, move in silence.
That's like a lot of you guys, a lot of people want clout, right? And I'm telling you, clout, it comes with a lot of downsides. It is the average person cannot handle the downsides of clout. So if you're out there and you want clout, I'll be honest with you. Honestly, that's kind of like low-key a problem with your inner game, because you feel like you need external validation from people like, well, I'm famous, so all these people like me, therefore you should like me, right? But the best way is to be rich, red-pilled, but a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like, just follow along and, be hidden amongst the normies in your day to day, but like you're real G up here. You know what I mean? That's ideal. And then when you get to the point where you're financially free, let's say you have a bunch of real estate properties coming in, or you're making a killing just from dollar cost averaging into, the Vanguard or the S&P 500, or you have good cryptocurrency things set up, once you're free, you can be a little bit more vocal about, whatever you want to do in regards to if you want to really get clout, which I honestly don't recommend it. I really don't recommend it. But we talked about that here with these guys, because I just think there's a lot of guys want clout, but they don't realize that's all the downsides that come with it. Okay.
Nowadays, when I first started making money, I was wearing fucking everything Louis Vuitton, fucking pattern shit. All I realized was that just fucking draws the wrong kind of people all around, wrong kind of women, wrong kind of friends, wrong kind of business partners. Everybody wants to overcharge you. Everybody wants to do all this shit. I realized that just kind of looking like an average person, but being red pilled up here, and then being on a mission, on a goal with your life, is the best way to live. Okay. That's pretty much all I have to say as of right now. Andrew is the co-director of the Passport Pro program, and then he's been helping me out with a lot of the fucking on-the-ground coaching. He did the Tokyo program. He did Manila with me. He's been teaching webinars, Masculine Empowerment Network, forever. Anything you want to say, buddy?
But that's it, guys. Literally, I've seen people change for the better in John's programs, which is why I've been willing to help him out for so long. I was in his second program. The only reason why I didn't do the first was because it was, I think, limited space, and he only had like 30 or so slots, in the first one. And I regret that, because that first one was where there were a lot of folks that have gotten big. Myron was in that first one from Fresh and Fit. I was in that second one. The second one he did way back in the day. And I've been working with John kind of ever since, and we're both in Asia, and we have a lot of the same goals, but the real goal is to see you guys get better. And when I see guys that go from wherever they're at to somewhere that's better, I see myself, because I remember where I was 5 years ago when I started talking with John. Yeah, I was a lawyer. Yeah, I made money, but my frame was completely fucked up. My game was like garbage tier, was like super beta game, right? And just that change of mind and game, just that alone was worth everything. I mean, there's no monetary value on that. And not only that, connecting with guys, knowing this network, that's invaluable. There's no price on that. Being able to connect with the guys around you and make those connections this weekend. I want to see you guys talk to each other, exchange information, plan, because the guys that I rely on when I'm going to another city, if I'm flying into Hanoi and I need to talk to somebody, I've got people because of the networks that John has built. So make sure you guys are staying with that, stay in touch, because there's guys that I've met from BLM way back in the day. I'm still in touch with them. And look at the people that I started with, and people like Myron, Sterling, those guys, they were in the program way, way, way back in the day. So, keep those connections, guys, and we're going to have a good time. And I really hope to see you guys making some positive change this weekend.
So here's how Andrew fits into the network. Okay. Andrew is a bar certified lawyer in the state of Florida, and he handles a lot of international law and a lot of international taxation stuff with me in the Passport Pro community and the Passport Bro community, which we are both obviously, we're living out here. We're living the dream abroad. Both of our businesses collect dollars As you know, every currency around the world is shitting the bed except for the United States dollar. So we're totally just rocking and rolling, living abroad at a discount. And on top of that, just, in my opinion, just quality women is better out here. Quality of food is better out here. Quality medical care is way better out here in Asia. If you have money, honestly speaking, if you can move to Asia, and I'm literally saying anywhere in Asia, and you're pulling in $60,000-$70,000 a year, you can live like a fucking king. You can live like a fucking king. All right. Dollar arbitrage is your friend. Dollar arbitrage is like a real thing to be doing. And what dollar arbitrage basically means is like you collect dollars and then you trade it to the currency that is lesser than United States currency, which, because like I said, if you just look at the markets, you look at the DXY, the DXY, and you look at all these different like financial markers, the United States dollar is just soaring right now, and other currencies are dying. And so they're bitching about it here. Like Japan, the yen is like fucking at like a 30-year low, which is great for me because I collect dollars for business. But we talk about setting up tax structures, if you're in Japan, kabushi kaisha, what is it called? Kabuki kaisha. And then that's like the equivalent of an LLC in Japan, the KK. And he has experience with Korea. He lived in Korea multiple years. Now he's in Bangkok, Thailand. He and I are heading up the Bangkok, Thailand trip on August 26th. And so that right there also is probably going to be our best iteration. We're going to be doing the Manila documentary review tomorrow because we actually have an in-depth breakdown with all the guys. So we're doing like seriously endurance streams today and endurance streams tomorrow. We're going to be going like probably 5-6 hours per stream. So buckle up and watch the proof of concept. And then right after that, we got Tokyo Crypto Show. And then after that, we have the Deep Japanese Seduction this week. And then after watching all the valuable content on Friday, I'll be answering all your questions for free. So this is a jam-packed week. If you really want to, like, honestly speaking, if you're at home and you're like, okay, I'm tired of my dating life sucking. I'm tired of not having money. I'm tired of feeling bad about myself, having no self-esteem, having anxiety, depression, whatever the case may be. This is your week, but you got to pay attention. You got to watch, and it's going to be long. It's going to take hours. It is, because you're not just going to find a YouTube channel that's going to give you all the solutions to your problem in 1 hour. You'd be like, okay, fucking did 1 hour of work. Like, now fucking congratulations, my life's set. It doesn't work like that. Okay. So
retard alert.
Don't be a fucking retard. All right. Just hit him with the Hadouken. Just sit down and knock this thing out, man. I'm telling you guys, the ROI on increasing the quality of your life is it's endless. It is endless. It is endless. It is endless and endless. In a generation now where everybody's crying, everybody's whining, everybody's complaining, I'm miserable, I'm this, I'm wah. There is so much opportunity left out there for people who are just going to be normal. Just show up on time. Don't be a fat, disgusting fuck. Have morals. Do the right job. Like do a quality work when you go to work. Like the world is your oyster if you could just do these simple things consistently over time. And that is just hard for some people, but it's not hard for us here. And that's what we're helping you out with the Masculine Empowerment Network. Okay. So that's what Andrew does. And Andrew's going to be popping on the stream later today, giving us a little breakdown, but let's continue on here.
So, John.
So the next thing we're going to do now is one by one. I guess we're gonna give you guys a little introduction.
Everyone, my name is Juan or Juan Pablo. I'm 43 years old. I'm from New York via Colombia. I have a family business driving school, and I'm looking to scale that up to hopefully a six-figure salary for myself. Right now, the school does me over 6 figures a year. We've been in business 3 years, so that's it. And I'm here to just be better than when I came in. Just learn from everybody and walk out of here a different person, but a better person.
I'm 25 years old. I run a company that helps people secure business funding, like specifically 0% interest business funding. I've been doing that for a couple of years now. We have a big team. We're at about 7 figures a year. Yeah, man, just came here to meet everyone, network. It's my home turf.
This guy, Joseph, he's a really cool guy. He's real sharp too. He does very good for his young age.
So I just want to meet people, like-minded individuals that want to grow.
My name's John, 45 years old. I'm a government contractor. My business or financial goal is to get more certifications, increase my income, and then eventually transition into a consultancy with my brother and, be the digital nomad traveling across like some of our mentors here. My goal for this weekend is to meet like-minded men, form a brotherhood, and, just make those connections that'll last a lifetime.
I'm 25 years old. I'm from New York, but currently live in Tampa. I work in software development.
That's our big homie, Mike Harton, in the chat. Started watching, went to our software development education, got educated in about a year. Now he's making, not going to say, but it's close to 6 figures. He's doing a great job. He's a young man turning his whole life around, crushing it.
But I'm starting a business to help freelancers build some web app sets. And
so he says, I'll tell you, David Mugala says he looks homeless. I assure you, he makes more money than you, buddy.
I'm here to fix my inner game and connect with some awesome dudes.
I am 27 years old. I have been studying for the past 8 years to be an architect. So I'm actually on my last year of my double master's program. So I'm trying to figure out ways to kind of diversify that kind of skill set into possible courses, teaching, kind of split up my own income and then add on that. I'm also looking for other passive income options. My goal this weekend is just to kind of network, meet some like-minded individuals, and do a little self-audit of myself, kind of see where I can pick and choose and improve at. So yeah, happy to be here. Good to meet y'all.
My name is Jonathan Medina. I'm from Houston, Texas. Currently,
this motherfucking guy is a killer, bro. You'll see this guy later when he was sparring. This guy was probably the best fighter amongst all of us in regards to kickboxing. This guy is fucking lethal. He's a lethal guy.
30, and I work in project management for an e-discovery company. It's a software company. I'm currently living in Colombia. And I guess one of my biggest goals is to just work on more developing my business.
And we got a special guest coming on with us right now.
Hey, everybody. How's it going, guys?
What up? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Great. It's a lovely day here in Bangkok, and it's good to see the boys in Orlando again. That event was absolutely amazing, and it was just kind of a microcosm, like a little slice of what we do in Passport Pro, what we did in Tokyo, what we did in Manila, and what we're going to be doing in Bangkok coming up here in the next couple months. So, to me, it was great to get everybody together, and that's really why Men and your network is really good, is because it brings these guys together and allows us to do these amazing events that are really unique. They're really, there really isn't a place where you get all that information in one place, where you get the lectures, the activities, everything else. And in Orlando, which is, the city that you are, you're from there. I spent 6 years there practicing law. So I really enjoy Orlando and was glad to be back.
It's just what a crazy ride we've been on. You
yes.
and I, I always try to like quantify the value of the network and like the value of signing up, but like it's kind of like this nebulous thing to a degree. Like you just have to show up. I know it sounds like fucking cope, like just sign up, but like, can you just explain like the personal transformation you had? Because you even started your legal mindset brand, like from working with one of my interns in the network and like a huge fucking like celebrity on the internet and LawTube now.
Everybody who, a lot of the people that are big right now, including big on the internet, big in general, and there's a lot of guys that are like secretly just fucking killing it. They started out because of the network or because of the secondary effects of the network. And this is why, John, you say, hey, you can't quantify it, because you honestly can't. The thing you're going to need, you're going to find within the network, but you're not going to know till you dig in and get there. Let's use an example of even myself, right? Like I wouldn't have necessarily thought to do YouTube. I thought, okay, maybe I can do some sort of consulting. Maybe I could do something else. But it was only when I networked with somebody else, Tom, who was a member of the network, a member of Men, right? And then connected with some guy, this little old guy, his name's Myron Gaines, that guy who helped me out and hooked me up and, was also my personal trainer, my good good friend. You know, it's only when I hooked up with these people that it actually pushed me to go and start my brand, to start my channel, you know, to go to the next step. And now here I am, you know, on YouTube. Now I'm over 150K subscribers. I get over 2,000 people watching me regularly, you know, and I would have never imagined that. Like, that was something I did not think. It's a road I thought I wasn't going to go down. I thought, okay, maybe I'll be working at a different law firm, or maybe I'll have my own law firm, or whatever else. I wouldn't have thought, no. You're going to be able to live an international life where you can fly anywhere you want. You can have girls all over the world, right? All over East and Southeast Asia, right? And you're going to have that freedom that is so satisfying. And I think for men to be happy in the long term, you need to have that. And that's something that you found through the network. And not everybody's road will be the same. A lot of guys, they have different roads, different paths, different things they're going to do to get them to the road to masculine happiness. But you need to get in the network. You need to go out there and do it. You need to actually show up, pull the trigger. Do not be a red pill masturbator. Go out there and actually come out, which is why we hold our events, to actually get you guys out. And beyond that, get you guys out and in a different country, which you'll be surprised when you change your environment, when you change where you are, how that can inspire you to greater, bigger, and better things. My life has only tripled since I have come to Asia from the US. Yeah, I have my Legal Mindset channel in the US, but guess what? 90% of that growth has been in Asia, has been over here once I got out of the United States. So yeah, so definitely it's something I would suggest to get out and do and get into the network. That's the real sauce, is getting into the network, getting out here, connecting with guys. Because look, John may not be the guy you're partnering with, but you may find your other business partner, your other collaborator in the group, which is the massive value.
Well, you know, I want to real quick, because I didn't even know how bad your situation was until you told me in Manila. Like how.
Oh yeah, you didn't know? Yeah.
I had no idea how bad it was. Yeah. Like, you know, and you showed me that picture of you. You look like, you know, you look like such a fucking nerd. And I couldn't even believe that.
I was a nerd. I was a huge nerd. Yeah, I was a giant nerd. But I mean, which is fine, because honestly, I think, and you have a lot of guys that come through your group. I think if you're a nerd, you're probably a smart guy, which, you know, starting from the baseline of smart is fine, because you can layer the chat on top of that, right? You know, it's a little harder if you're Gronk, or you're a brick and you just don't get it and you can't process the information. If you're a smart guy, and a lot of the guys in the group are really smart, right? You're able to process this information, you're able to think it, and then boom, you've got to take action on it. But yeah, I was in a bad situation. You know, yeah, I had the job. Yeah, I was a lawyer, right? But my woman life sucked. Right. You know, I was going from LTR to LTR. My leg count was, I think I talked about this before John's program. My leg count was 4, you know, and those were all girlfriends. You know, they're all girlfriends. It's long-term girlfriend, long-term girlfriend, long-term girlfriend. But I didn't think, I never believed that I could just go out and, if I wanted to, if it so tickles my fancy, pull a girl the same night and make that happen. I would think I can never do that. If I went back and told myself, and this is my like 27-year-old, 28-year-old self, hey, you can just go out there and pull a girl and smash the same night if you wanted to, I would have said, no way, you're fucking, that's not me. That's another type of guy, right? That's another type of guy. That's not me. Now, if I want to do that, that's anytime I want to do that, right? If I want to go and get a new girlfriend, you know, and I told myself back in the day, hey, if you, in the future, you'll be able to get a girlfriend within a week. I would never believe myself. Never believe myself. Now, that's not a problem. I don't need to worry about women's stuff. Women's stuff is the least of my concerns, right? Business stuff is more my concern now. And the great thing is that your community allows people to level up in women, business, and in fitness, right? Which are the 3 core, in addition to frame, right? Which are the core areas of masculine improvement and masculine happiness.
Yeah, you know, it's such, I believe we just have such a comprehensive attack towards it, because, you know, to a degree, I feel like the red pill space and manosphere space has kind of turned into like this drama circus, when it's just like, who has the latest drama? Let's react to this 304 doing this. And it's basically a bunch of copycats doing, like, trying to copy what Fresh and Fit did, quite frankly.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, but I just don't, I really, when I look at the space, I don't see anybody's like, here is the clear path for the average guy to become above average. Like, here is the clear path. And the one thing is, I like what you mentioned too. The one thing I've noticed about there's a common denominator between all the guys that join our communities. They're very smart guys. There's like really not
Very
fucking
smart.
dummies that show up. And I just think that that's just such a powerful asset, because once we kind of dial these guys in and get their confidence feeling, to the right level, then, it's only a matter of time before the success comes. And I mean, consistently, like, we have just been having consistent success behind the scenes since 2019. And I take pride in the fact that, like, you're able to make a brand where you get more, like, dude, I'm sorry you have to come on the peasant stream where we only got like 50 people on my fucking stream. When you get like that, like, what are you averaging now? Like 1,000 to 5,000?
Well, over at least minimum 1,000, and like now I'll get 2,000 pretty routinely. So, so yeah, no, I'm doing pretty well, and it just depends on the topic. I can get, I've had streams where I have 20,000 if it's a news topic, right? It depends on what it is. But that said, it's because I focus generally on streaming. My strength is streaming. I'm a very consistent streamer. I'll probably stream a little bit later today. So it's something that I've built and cultivated, and it's kind of become my niche. So like, I know streaming, particularly law streaming, particularly legal news, right? That's me, right? I focused on that and kind of zoomed in on that. And everybody else can do that as well, can focus in and zoom in and become a specialist. And the great thing is about the network is, once you have a bunch of specialists, you now have people you can rely on. So if you need somebody for fitness advice or for crypto advice or for whatever else, you can call somebody in because you've got these different experts, right? And that's such a value. It's so huge. And guys need to be helping out other people and kind of lifting them up. That's exactly what everything is supposed to be doing in this network.
Shout out to Afi Kingdom in the chat with the extra
Afi, what's up, brother?
Wrestling podcast. Talk about a guy who makes a lot of transformations with his personal brand too. It's just phenomenal to see the quality of guys that come through. Every time I come to, like, meeting these guys, like, fucking Medina and like, Rockhold and shit like that. All these guys coming through. It's just huge. Just, I don't know, it makes me feel good just to see the quality of guys we're attracting. It's like,
I mean, Orlando impressed me. All the guys in Orlando, like, looking at them, hearing their bios, hearing what they're doing. These are not jokers. These are people that are really cool. They're really great, and they've got serious backgrounds. They're serious gentlemen, and I can see how they have a path to becoming just absolute rock stars, right? If they continue on this, if they stick with this, and the fact that they're willing to show up and get in the fucking ring and and do the work, right, that weekend, and commit to following, following our directions, following the course of the program. I think that's amazing. And I think all the guys that attended deserve praise for just showing up, because that's more than 99% of people do today. They don't show up. Like you said, John, they just want to watch the drama on the red pill channels, and they want to, laugh to that or masturbate or whatever else, instead of actually going out and doing the work. And at the end of the day, the person who's been telling you to do the work is this guy. He's been telling you this for 5 years, and that's the only thing that's going to get you improvement, is to actually do the work, whether it's on your frame, your game, or whatever else, fitness. You've got to actually go out there and lift the weights. You've got to go out there and get the help you need. If it's for frame, right? Get your mind right. You've got to get your money right. You've got to build that business, right? If you don't do these things, it can't help you. And John's been inspiring people to do that for what now, John? Is it 6 years? 7, 8?
Started 2019. So, I mean, my
So
channel,
five? Yeah.
I started the channel and putting content out in 2015, but we didn't start live streaming until 2019. So
Okay.
actually 9 years on the channel. 2019 is when we started to see some movement with with the live streaming and stuff. But that's the next bridge I got to cross, because I feel like, I don't know if I'm shadow banned or something, because it's just like 229,000 subscribers and only 50 people watching right now. I'm kind of like I don't know, it's just
well, you gotta streaming is, I mean, my live advice to you here on streaming is you have to do it consistently. You have to be on the schedule, and you can't take breaks, and you've got to be very, because the audience has to know, hey, John's streaming at X time. And so that's the thing about streaming, that it's both. Streaming is awesome, but it does have the burden of, you have to keep up the streaming schedule, right? And if you drop off even for a little bit, it is a big ding in the algorithm. and also in the viewer's memory, because they say, oh, John's not on. And then next week, John's not on, John's not on, John's not on. So they kind of forget. You got to reset that. So it took me a very long time of being at 25, 30, 50, 70 viewers before I started to get to the hundreds, and then, close to the thousands. So, just stick at it. And streaming is like anything else.
Yeah, we will overcome. We will overcome. Like
Yes.
I said, the reason I was mentioning is like, even, you guys at home, you have your personal struggles. I have my struggle. We all have our struggles, but instead of being victim to them, we're pushing through and watching them. Let's back to these intros. Let's see something we got on here.
These are good guys.
Yeah.
Skills, network with everyone.
Oh, speak of the dove. Perfect timing. So look who's here. What up, man?
What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, Paul?
Hey, what's happening?
Happy to have you. Looking good, man. Looking the nice new setup. Looking nice.
Thanks, brother. Oh, well, the setup is my interior decorator advisor, John MLD, helped me with the office. So,
did you get a new camera?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're coming in super crisp, man. Looking real good.
Thanks, bro. Thanks. Yeah, just leveling.
Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying leveling things up over here.
Yeah, we were just talking about like the value of that Andrew received from joining the network, getting his brand huge to the point he's like live streaming for anywhere between 1,000 to like 20,000 people on his Legal Mindset channel.
Jesus,
and
dude, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, he's crushing it. And we're just talking about the value of the network. I mean, you've been in the network with me now since when did you join up? Was it like 2020 or 2021?
I think it was 21. We met around 2020 because I had just gotten back from Afghanistan. I controversially was invited to Rule Zero because not everybody was sure if they wanted me to be on there. We did that like little COVID whatever Rule Zero Zoom meetup seminar. I think remember that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Right. And you and I kind of like gradually started talking. Then you invited me into the network at some point after that. So I think it would have been like the beginning of 21 or something. Maybe that first cohort in 21. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Love it. And I've met so many good people too through your network, which is something you're really talented at, man, is bringing guys together, and bringing talent together, and people just have things to offer. I mean, it's really, really great. And anyone who does your masculine empowerment network, you didn't ask me to plug it, but I'll plug it for you. It's that they have access, to all of these, not just you and your material, which is great, but all these people who have different things to offer that are really valuable. So I think it's a great network for guys.
Good. Yeah. We're like I said, I just think that we kind of have reached the pinnacle of like, you can just binge watch as much content as possible. But like there is a roof to the education you receive from having a one-sided conversation with a content creator where you're just on the listening end.
Yeah,
so,
that doesn't even meet that doesn't even meet the definition of conversation, right?
Right.
You're literally like submitting your comments to them, and they're choosing whether or not to remark on them or anything else like that. And oftentimes you're getting limited in characters to 150 characters, however else. It's not a back and forth. You're not being able to really gain any value out of that. And then most of the time you're just reacting to some person that's on their show temporarily, some whore usually that's brought on their show once, right?
Yes.
And you're just reacting to her being like, wow, she's a dumb bitch.
Yeah.
How is your life improved by calling that girl a dumb bitch? It's fine. Maybe it's funny and maybe it's hilarious and maybe you may have a laugh, but how are you becoming a better man by that? Are you richer? Are you more fit? Is your frame better by that? I would actually argue that probably depletes your frame, right? Because you're so focused on critiquing these hoes that you're not worried about your own mental health, right? And your own, well-being, right? So all of these things put together, it's doing shit for you. It's doing jack shit. And I get that there's a phase in the red pill process where you may need that to a certain extent, right? You need to go through the red pilling, and there's a week or two of that you can do to get it out of your system, maybe a month, but you got to move on to improvement. And these guys are helping you improve. And the guys in the network that help you improve really, like truly help you improve and not just sit there and jerk off to dumb hoes. Right.
Yeah.
Because, that's the road that a lot of these red pill guys, quote unquote red pill channels, are leading you down. It's just this channel is sitting around and laughing at these dumb hoes, but not actually working on your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't have solutions to it, but I could see this like when I first got started, which is why I was really kind of, not that I'm the greatest marketer in the world. I'm not at all, but as far as how I want to brand myself to help guys out, it was really important for me to stay away from a lot of certain things that go on YouTube. And one of those is having these divisive, dopamigenic fueling type of shows that don't yield any results for anybody after a while, and that's a lot of these things that we're talking about. Because what ends up happening is you get a content creator is talking at you, not to you, spitting out some information. Some of it's true and some of it is maybe hard to hear. And then the stuff that's hard to hear or maybe a little bit divisive, that gets all the attention, that gets the likes, because the audience thinks it's the illusion of action. They really think they're getting something done by watching some idiot, say something and then everyone dunks on her or whatever, right? So they think they're accomplishing something when they're really not accomplishing anything. And they like and they throw a comment in. Well, the content creator guy is getting that feedback going, oh, so the shittier and more divisive I can be, the more people that are going to jump on. And so then it just turns into a thing where everyone sort of tries to top each other with stupid comments and divisiveness. And there isn't anybody, you guys are different, obviously, and me too, but there's an element of like a thumbnail or something that is attention grabbing, and that hook line that sort of brings somebody in to be curious. And some of that could be a little divisive, but when we get into the content and what we're advising men on, it's actionable things that help them. There's controls in place because we have that, we have actual clients. I think everybody here does in their capacity.
Yes,
they do. Yeah. So like our thing is like, I'm dealing with clients who pay me money to help them solve problems and level up different areas of their life, things that I'm good at. Right. So knowing that when I go on YouTube, I'm here to help guys out with actionable information. Whereas not everybody's doing that. They're really trying to get more subscribers and likes, which we would all like too, but they're doing it by that divisive stuff that drives short-term, boosts and viral videos, stuff like that, but doesn't lead results for guys. And so now you see this men's health space is pretty well polluted at this point.
That's a good word, Paul. Polluted is a good word.
That's why
polluted is a very good word. It's like the Exxon Valdez of bad advice. Like there's all this like shit in the ecosystem. And I can say in the beginning, having been around for a while, and I was there as a lurker and a watcher for a long time before I engaged in MLD's community, a long time. Yeah. And I can say I've watched it, and it was relatively pure at one point, or at least like it was coming from a good place. But now that everybody's gotten in and they're like, the grifting is good, right?
Yes.
They've just put out so much stuff. And even the people that posit to be trying to help you, right, often are giving just horrible advice or advice, like John said, that isn't for the average guy. If their advice is $500,000, it's like, okay, well, how does a guy get to having $1 million, right? How does a guy level up, right? There's no system, there's no program, there's no advice to get there. It's just, okay, well, have $1 million and make a really good Instagram. Okay, take steroids. It's like, okay.
Go break your legs in Turkey and become 6 inches taller. Then,
yeah, there you go. There you go. Chad status achieved. Yeah.
Shout out to Taloa. He just said he's in the chat. He filled out the link for above. Yeah, if you guys want to fill out the link, brother. We're doing the live training in August 26th for Bangkok, Thailand. It's going to be our best program. Actually, Andrew, real quick before we get back to this,
sure.
You lived in Bangkok now 2 years now. How long?
I'm right now back in Bangkok from Manila. I've been there for roughly 2 years. I visit for a little bit longer. Once again, the great thing about this is, first of all, it's my home turf, so I'm going to make sure this is the best possible program, period. We're going to go even further with what we know that you guys want. So every day we've got classroom experiences, right? Where we're teaching you information, where you're learning from actual subject matter experts, in the morning, bright and early, you're getting that education. every afternoon is packed with valuable activities, right? Whether that's physical activities like going out and doing Muay Thai, which is way leveled up. We did this in Manila, but it's going to be leveled up here in Thailand, the home of Muay Thai. We're going to be going out and getting stuff like health exams, right? At one of the best hospitals here, which is a weird question I get from a lot of people when I'm doing consultations. They say, Andrew, what happens if I like get injured? Are there hospitals over there? I'm like, yes, Asia has hospitals. We're going to go get a health checkup. So you guys have, so you guys know you're healthy. So you get your blood work, you get everything done. You make sure you're A-okay. We're going to go out and be doing activities where you're getting updated photos. You're getting an updated style look. You're making sure you look clean, look good. You get a haircut, you get, taken care of. So all of these things are going to be taken care of on this program. In addition to being able to, yes, also go out. Yes, pick up girls. Yes, learn game. All these other things are packaged together in a program in which you're going to get to bond with other guys. You're going to get to be there with John, myself, and others who are there one-on-one, face-to-face. There really aren't other programs that deliver this type of value. And when you leave this program, you will be a changed person. You will improve. You will be able to change your life in a positive way. If anything, you're going to be inspired to do it faster. Right? You're going to be inspired to get your stuff together, to be living the life that you want to live. Guys, you've probably been out there stuck in a rut, not moving, not going anywhere. One of the best things to do when you're stuck is to pull yourself out and put yourself in a different environment, to be able to reorient yourself, to think differently, to see that a different life is possible, which is why you guys really got to come out and join us in Bangkok in August and September. And I hope that a lot of you guys can come out and do that.
We debuted the Manila documentary on the channel this morning, actually.
Oh, awesome.
It was received very well. And then, people like Yellow Joe here says, really impressed with the down-to-earth guys who attended this event and a Manila event. Regular guys who want to do above average things in life. I can relate. No ego, no showboating. Yeah, we don't have time for any of that stuff. And quite frankly, that's just like an indicator of low self-esteem if you got a showboat and stuff like that. We're all here to level up. Let's go back to the episode here and just watch some of these introductions from some of these guys, because I want you guys at home to see, we had such a good mix of people there. So far we had a fucking Spanish guy, a Jewish guy, and then we had a fucking white guy, we had a black guy, we have our token Asian. We have literally around the globe. We have pretty much.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's an international brotherhood.
And we didn't even try to do that. It's just funny how these guys.
No, we don't need fucking DEI quotas to make the first group of men.
No DEI quotas at the Masculine Empowerment Network.
Pick everyone's brain and kind of keep leveling myself up in technology, but also do my own thing on the side and potentially get into real estate in the future. But I'm very glad to be here with you guys.
I'm Jordan Kurtz. I'm 25.
Jordan.
I technically have a mechanical engineering degree. I'm employed as an instrumentation and controls engineer. I've actually joined Body Language Mastery the quarter after Andrew did. So I've been all here a long time. And a sneak peek for what you'll see tomorrow is I actually found the first interaction between John and I, and you'll see the level of confidence that I had then and now is just completely different. So John has completely changed my life, and I'm happy to be here and be here with all of you. So.
And Jordan has actually gone on to he has his own hypnotherapy business now, where he helps people help themselves get over their traumas, their anxieties, whatever the case may be. He was actually supposed to be here on the stream today, but it's actually his 26th birthday. So he's out having a good time with his family, doing it up. But even when Jordan, when he came to us, he you'll see later here, he just was so lacking confidence and lacking direction. And it's so just fulfilling to see how he turned his entire life around. He's making good money too. On top of that, he's not even 30. We got for the guys that are 29 to 18 in my community. These guys are fucking killers. These young guys are motherfucking killers. They're on a great path, because what I tell you to do is hard. There's no doubt about it. What I tell you to do is hard, but that's why it's so rewarding. That's why there's so many rewards at the end of it all.
Yeah, and the young guys are the guys I've seen really kill it. I mean, like my former roommate Tom. I mean, Jordan over here. The younger guys who start their path younger, because I think to myself, "What's up, Jordan?" I think if I could go back and at 18, 19, 20, 21 start this path, I would be a fucking gangster. It would be over, right? I started this path when I was 27, 28 to really change my life, and dedicated to changing my life, to making a version of myself that I can be proud of, that I can go to sleep at night and say, you know what? I am living my mission as a man, right? I am as a man happy, right? And I'm getting what I want, what I really want, without feeling shame, without letting anybody, say that what I'm doing is wrong or the goals I'm going for are bullshit. And having guys who can actually give me advice on getting that. Right. So when I need advice on crypto, got guys I can ask. If I need advice on fitness, I got guys I can ask. If I have somebody who, needs to get my brain right, hypnosis, Jordan Kurtz, can ask that guy. Great example of a guy. And he went from being a guy who was receiving that information to a guy who is now teaching that information.
Yeah.
And
that's what we
all
want.
of you can do the same thing. All of you can be the same. You can do the exact same thing as Jordan.
Yep. And I mean, just the transformation alone is just phenomenal to watch, because that's my greatest indicator of success is like how many people come out from under your coaching that go on to help other people as well,
Right.
or even surpass you. It's so beneficial in my opinion. It looks like Instagram feed ended. Okay, well, you guys will be coming over anyways. Shout out to everybody on all the platforms watching us. We've got people watching us on X, YouTube, Twitch. So hit that like button and let's continue. We got Donovan up here next.
Guys, my name is Donovan. I'm 28 years old, originally from Utah, but I live in Tennessee now. Love it there. I'm a nuclear engineer. My main reason for coming here is the networking. You can, all your stuff is online, but I have a good group of friends where I live, even like badasses. But when I try to talk to them about anything that we're going to talk about, it's just like it doesn't even register. And so it's the networking that I'm really here for. And then let's see, career goals, continue to level up what I'm worth on the market. And I'm working on that. And then longer term goals, some sort of my own business. I have tons of ideas. And because of that, I have trouble choosing. So that's the next step that I need to do there.
What's up, guys? My name is Matt. I'm 34. I'm from San.
This guy, I told him, I was like, "What the fuck are you even doing here? You're done, bro. You won. Like, go." I was like, "Go pick up hot Asian girls in California, bro. You got the recipe."
Jose, California. I work as a staff accountant at a VC law firm in the Bay Area. Currently, I've been mulling over a few different options as far as a career path goes. So I think one of my goals to get out of this weekend is to narrow down where I want to go within that. In addition to that, I think everyone's made it abundantly clear we all want to network and form a strong brotherhood. I've seen a lot of you individuals on the calls that we've had. So seeing everyone in person,
there he is,
from behind the screen is awesome. So looking forward to that. Also looking forward to picking your guys' brains this weekend and getting more of the mindset down to develop the kind of life that I want. So just looking forward to having a kick-ass weekend and looking forward to calling you all my friends by the end of Sunday.
Can we stop right there? Because that's because here's the thing, and let me just say this real quick to be serious. There's this. I identify with that a lot in terms of you can have a successful job, you can have it all on paper, you can be in this position where other people look at you and they think this guy's winning, but you don't feel internally like you're winning yet because you still need that work on your frame. You still need that state of mind, which is exactly what he was mentioning right there. Right? What he mentioned is, hey, he's got the business, he's got money muscles, he's got the money, right? The money is not the problem. Now it's the frame, and he feels like he's not there. That's so important. That's why that's a pillar, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have this right, you're never going to be able to get what you want.
I was going to say,
go ahead.
because Paul's an expert on this too. I would like you to kind of elaborate a little bit if you can, Paul.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, what happens is the way the brain is designed at a neurological level, you have to keep in mind, it's not designed to actually help you be successful and to attain higher levels of things in your life. Your brain is designed to keep you safe and put you in a place of homeostasis or sort of sameness. So if you did what felt right, you wouldn't do much other than chase after hedonistic sort of short-term goals, right? And this is what happens with people who are addicted to drugs or heavy partiers or, you know, those types of things, right? They're chasing the short-term high and reward, but they're not really getting any long-term success. If you want long-term success, you know, the brain, you have to fight, you have to work with the way that your brain's designed to make that happen. What often happens is that guys will get the success, they will, let's say, get the body they want, they'll go to school, they'll get the degree, like he's an accountant, they'll get working in a firm, you know, probably making good money, like they'll get these things to happen, but their mind is still stuck where they were, you know, and the mind being sort of stuck there will cause people to self-sabotage. It's a couple of sources of self-sabotage, but that's one of them. It's being in the old identity. So one thing you have to be able to do, which is something I do with guys all the time, is to update your identity, because who you are today, when you've accomplished a bunch of things and where you're at, or when you've been through stuff, right, is different than who you were, you know? And so some of your bad habits or your limiting thoughts or beliefs, or some of the behaviors you have that are really, that are not, a little less successful, a little bit sabotaging, that's part of an old you. That's part of an old paradigm. And maybe some of those things were useful, you know, at the time that you were doing them, but they're not useful now. And so constantly updating those beliefs and that identity, not just from a logical understanding, like, oh, I know this, I know that, but from an unconscious perspective and a behavioral perspective. You have to behave different, and you have to adopt unconscious thoughts and beliefs and different emotional reactions as well, you know? And so you have to work on the whole person, not just, oh, like I read this book or I heard this podcast and that makes sense, so now I'm going to go do that. Well, sure. How are you going to do that? Right. Or you've accomplished a bunch of things. Okay, cool. But then now you don't feel like this accomplished person. When you talk to that girl, for example, you're getting nervous, like you were that dork in high school you once were, instead of the guy who's accomplished a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? And so it's updating that identity is really an important thing, and really coming into that version of yourself, and then, you know, having those behaviors, beliefs, emotions, reactions that's congruent with the best version of you and not the old version of you. If that makes any sense. And it's a brain thing, actually. I have to change the brain and change the body, which is where the emotions are, like think places like the vagus nerve, stuff like that. You got to be able to release that stuff and change what's going on there, so that you have an updated way of behaving, thinking, being, down to the core of who you are. So hopefully that makes sense.
It's you know, and it is like, the thing is, what we do at the Masculine Empowerment Network and what we do with these coaching is, I'm never going to stop coaching. I'm never going to fucking just do things for clicks and views. Like, because in my experience, coaching is the only way to make the cultural change that we want. Like, the culture cannot change if you don't change. Your life cannot change. You cannot get what you want if you do not take consistent actions over a long period of time to make a change. Like, it takes, especially when you're kind of stuck in a rut, it takes a lot of energy to get going. It's like when you ride a bicycle, like those first couple of pedals, you're like, Jesus Christ, am I ever going to get this thing going? But then once you're coasting, it's just like you're unstoppable. It takes very little effort to keep things going. Same thing with business, same thing with money, same thing with girls, same thing with your mental health, like everything. Once you have momentum, because there's positive momentum and there's negative momentum. And if your life sucks, you probably have negative momentum, and you got to spin up a bunch of effort to get that positive momentum going. But once you have it going, dude, it's such an addictive thing. It's so rewarding and amazing. I personally, like, there's no way I could ever go back to being like a loser or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm addicted to working hard. I go to the gym every day these days. Like, I'm loving it.
Here's a good one that I learned a while ago, which is, you know, imagine yourself in 5 years doing the exact same thing you're doing now, right? if you are unhappy with that image, right? If you are unhappy with the version of yourself 5 years from now on the path that you're on, doing the same stuff you're on now, then you need to fucking change. You need to pull it up. If you're going to look at yourself sitting and watching red pill content, you know, the typical red pill content, just pointing at whores and laughing, right? and you're just sitting around, you're still a loser, you're still living with your parents, you're still, you know, you're still broke, you're still out of shape, you still got the whatever, all this bad stuff, right? And you're not happy with that. You got to spin up the effort to change. You got to take a step to change. And that's why you got to get with John. You got to get with people that will actually help you and actually push you into that change rather than just doing the same shit you're doing. And by the way, just watching videos is not enough, guys. I know it's good as a start, but you've got to stop watching videos. Even John's videos, you got to actually engage with them, actually get involved in this, actually do the work, right? Until you do the work, you are not going to change.
Yeah. And that's a really good point too. So here's the thing. As I was kind of evaluating my own business and seeing, like, you know, guys pay a fair amount of money, like, to get into my coaching groups and to work with me. Right. And so why would they do that? Right. Why pay a bunch of money to work with me? Why spend the money to go to Thailand, for example, to meet up with you guys? Right.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's like, why do that? Well, here's why. And here's why it's critical to do stuff like that, because the logical framework and the understanding, which you could get from, I give that stuff away for free. I don't charge any money for it. I give it all away. I tell you now, is it dialed into your specific situation? Well, not necessarily, but I give the information away because I want people to be armed with the information. I believe in open source communication. I know people hear some of the stuff and then they use it on their podcast, and I encourage it. You know, anything that, you know, that I'm giving out information wise, you can have that for free. You don't have to pay me a cent for it. It's on YouTube, right? But that's not going to lead you to changing anything. Like, you know, you're not supposed to do certain things, you do them anyway. You know what I mean? Especially like under distress. Like when a guy's like, okay, I'm going through the breakup, going through the divorce, you know, what should I do? All right, cool. I'm going to distance myself from her. We're going to have that like little conversation, and I'm not going to stalk her social media. I'm not going to hit her up. I'm not going to, right? They know what to do. It's not that hard, you know? And then everyone grifts off of each other's information anyway. So they're all repeating the same shit. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. He's not lying. He's not lying.
But then what do? They next consult. Okay, so like, I know it wasn't supposed to reach out, but I did. We had this conversation. Then he's showing me texts from him and the ex. Anyways, doing all the wrong shit, or like they do half the right things, and then the other half of the wrong things, and it keeps them stuck. So the information isn't enough. You know, if the information was enough, then cool. You know, some people, that's all they need, but no, it's not. So what you actually need are some other things. You need a behavioral plan. All right. So that's the second thing. You have the information. Now, how are you going to act on that information? And to make changes, for example, we can use the gym as an example, is really good, right? To make changes, it's like, okay, hire a trainer. That's someone going to keep you accountable, show up or whatever. Like you have to you come up with a program, even if you're going by yourself, or I'm going to go 4 days a week. I'm going to do this. Like you have a plan to do the different behavior. If you don't have that plan and you don't execute the behavior and check yourself on that plan, you're not going to make any changes. You know not to put fat shit in your face and eat it and then sit around, play video games and not go for a walk or go to the gym or exercise. You know that. It's not rocket science. People are like, what do I need to do to get in shape? You fucking know what to do to get in shape. You don't need anybody to tell you. And if you do, it's for free on YouTube. But you won't do it. All right? You're not going to do it unless you have a behavioral plan. Anybody who's done it had a behavioral plan and they executed that plan. Now, once you're executing that behavioral plan, what happens? Emotions happen. And so that's one thing, like a lot of men's health spaces don't want to talk about emotions because everyone's super alpha nowadays. But the reality is things like motivation is an emotion. Things like, procrastinating, that's emotion based. So you have to deal with the the neurochemical reactions that are going on in your brain that's pushing you towards old behaviors, habits, stuff like that. It's going to push you towards not doing the behavioral plan. That's one of the biggest things right there. This is why you're not doing what you're supposed to, is those emotions and those things that are going on in your inner game. Now, you won't do it yourself though. Like you'll try and you will struggle through it. I mean, you might do some of it, but you're going to struggle a lot unless you have something like accountability. All right. So because you want to 10x the speed in which you're going to make a change, be accountable to somebody. That's the best way to do it, because if you're accountable, now you have a behavioral plan, you know the logical framework already, you know what you're supposed to do, you have that plan, then these emotions crop up, but that accountability is going to help you push through the distracting and bad emotions are going to derail you, right? And then from there, it's the fifth thing is community support. Why is that so important? I didn't realize how important that was until I had my own community.
Yeah.
It's, it's so important because we're social animals. As much as everybody, you're not Sigma male on Sigma Island with your samurai gear in an AR-15 on my plantation by myself, and I'm my own man. Like, okay, that's really cool and everything. Me too. We're all that guy, but we need social support is a reality. We're social animals, and so we're designed to respond to the world. And if you don't have that social support and that good input coming in, and this is where a lot of guys get stopped up after being successful. They get successful, but they're like, I made it. They got the momentum. They're doing some work and they're coasting, but they're not feeding themselves with things to advance them forward. They're not feeding their brain that information. The world is going to give you contrary information to your success. Think about all the shit that's out there. It's not designed for you to be successful. It's designed for you to put money into a system so it goes into somebody else's pocket. It's designed to benefit other people, not you. And if you're not doing something for your mind to include the social interactions and being with a community, being with good people around you, right? Taking that medicine, I call it a guy from one of my groups called it, well, it's like I take my medicine every week. I don't even have a question. I just jump on the Zoom call, and I just listen. And it's just, I'm coasting, I'm doing pretty good, but I know if I don't take that medicine and hear this information, the outside world is going to hand me different information, and I'm going to just sort of absorb it without thinking about it. Then it's going to slowly but surely start affecting my behavior. And next thing you know, if we're talking about workouts, because that's an easy example, now I'm fat. And I've been there, it's like, fuck, I got to lose 20 pounds, but how'd that happen? Right? Because you're not feeding yourself with that good information, and that good information comes from your social circles and the people around you that'll keep you accountable. That's what a network of guys does for you. And so those are all the reasons why you would buy into a program, whether it's, going to Thailand, whether it's Masculine Power Network, whether it's one of my things or whoever's thing you're doing, you buy into that because you're getting those other things. The information is fine. You could know all the information, but you just won't do it without these other elements. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So deep. I mean, it's just so wild. Just how deep you can go in this game. But I mean, like I said, it's so important that you guys just understand that if you do decide that you're going to make the change, just fully commit. And I mean, it's inevitable. As long as you don't give up, like the quality of your life will improve.
Yeah. Inevitable. Yes.
Great introductions there. We have somebody who is perfectly late on time, which is actually this is our good friend Daniel, and actually we're going to present Daniel with something. Daniel, you are an upstanding guy, and actually I'm going to let him take the floor a little bit and tell you guys, because Daniel's a real fucking boss. Okay, money, muscles, game, frame. This guy's got every box fucking checked. He's a father of 3. His kids are doing very well. He does very well for himself. He takes care of himself. Knows Manila inside and out. Everybody loves this fucking guy. The ripe age of 47.
I was gonna say, I think I'm the old man in this room. I heard everybody. I was like, Jesus,
there's some other old people.
No. This guy, you're only as young as the girls you date. So you're 19.
Yeah. she just turned 20. She just turned 20.
He's a living example of doing it right, in our opinion. So Daniel, we'd like to give this award to you. Everybody just want to give him a round of applause.
Yeah. So Daniel's a great guy. And even after the program was over, I actually stayed and lived with him for a little bit just because I was waiting on some visa shit in Japan. So I was like, might as well hang out. We ended up going to Boracay, all of us. We had a blast. So you probably saw more of my stories here and there. But yeah, you want to just tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
go ahead.
Nice to meet you guys. Daniel Morales. So I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona. Father of 3 kids. I was married for 14 years. Got married really young. Did everything wrong. No, I'm just kidding. No, it actually was the bit, a blessing for me because getting married so young actually helped me to focus on building a career. I wasn't chasing girls. I wasn't, doing all that stuff. So I was able to build an insurance agency, which isn't, doesn't sound like, extra exciting or anything. But one of the things about insurance agencies that's pretty cool is it's residual commission. So I started that in my mid 20s. By the time I was in my mid 40s, back up a little bit. I was in my 30s. I got divorced. So I got divorced after about 14 years of marriage, ended up a single dad. So I ended up raising all 3 kids myself. So I ended up with the kids full time. So not only did I have my business, but I had 3 kids. They were 10, 8, and 5 at the time. So I'm super close to my kids. Obviously, I have 2 sons and a daughter. So close, as a matter of fact, they were telling you about how my son was out, and he took place in the program. But 2 of my sons are actually going to be moving to the Philippines with me. So backing up a little bit more. So I lived in Phoenix, and then I ended up making the decision in September 2022 that I was going to just, I made enough money. I was making, high 6 figures. I was living the life everybody wanted. To have the big house, all the cars, all the guns, all the stuff you'd want. But I wasn't really happy. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go check out the Philippines and see what this is about, Passport Pro. So I went out there and it changed my life. I never went back. I'm actually visiting back in the U.S. I was in Arizona. I came here from Arizona. The Philippines is a great place. One of many amazing places you could go and visit in the world. And I highly recommend that you take advantage of that because it changed my life. So much so that I couldn't even imagine going back and living a 9-to-5 life. If you can, a lot of you guys are talking about how what you want to do is accomplish, getting out, traveling, working remotely. Do it. Don't say it, just do it. I had plenty of money for years before I decided to do it. And I finally did it and it changed my life. So
that's the thing. I want to make it. I mean, that's just like a quick introduction of all the guys that are there. It's just, and the reason I wanted to sit through those introductions, because I wanted you at home to see yes, these guys are, they're guys that are just like you. They're
normal guys,
just normal guys that want to make their life better. You know what I mean? So I just think that, just seeing this is really going to be kind of demystifying some of these things because you can make the change too. All of us here have come from humble beginnings. Paul at one point was homeless and living in a car. I think you told me in your mid 30s.
So yeah, I got back from, it was kind of by choice, but I got back from deployments and stuff, broke it off with the wife, just packed a bag and said, see you later. I was kind of a dick back then, anyway. And then I just was cool, I'll just figure it out. I don't even, whatever. And then I stayed at different girls' houses that I was banging. And sometimes, in my own car, just whatever. I was just kind of couch surfing girls' houses for 2 months. And then I was like, yeah, this is kind of loser-ish. Maybe I should stop doing this and do something different. Right. I was very, I was going through a rough time, obviously, in my life then. But yeah, I mean, I didn't make more than an average NCO income, non-commissioned officer income, which is, until a few years ago, you know what I mean? And now I do fairly well, so much, I mean, from an income perspective, probably in the 1%, not quite from a savings perspective, not there yet. But yeah, I mean, it's a big difference now, and it just changing things about your life, but I mean, how do I live my life? Yeah, I was kind of savage and doing a lot of stuff with the government and, had a lot of girls and was just a lot of short-term relationships and all that stuff. But really, I got a long-term girlfriend. I got a kid. I have family life. I have a community here. I mean, I'm just I enjoy my peace and quiet out in my little corner of the world here. just being around my family and close people that I know and helping guys out with my business and all that. I'm not out there in some castle somewhere or like, you know what I mean? Doing like wandering the earth, doing pickup weekends and like, or on a boat all the time. Nothing wrong with that stuff. Like, you guys want to do with that, that's cool. But I mean, I've already had enough excitement, almost losing my life a lot. So me, just chilling in my lake house or my other lake house or wherever I'm at, and having close family and stuff like that and a hot girlfriend. And that lifestyle is good enough for me, and then helping men out, helping men get what they want. It doesn't, what you want as a guy, for everybody listening, you need to find out what that is. It's not to be like me or to be like John or to be like some guy out there who has this lifestyle. I mean, if you like the aspects of that lifestyle, cool, but you have to decide what makes you tick. And that's part of that unplugging too, is, being able to figure out what it is you want outside of the social influence, not just trading one social influence for another, which is what a lot of red pill guys do. They go, oh, the traditional idea of what would make me happy sucks, so I'm going to go with this person's idea. And it's like, okay, well, you're just going with somebody else's idea now. You know what I mean? Part of being in a network of guys and showing up to events and doing different things is to discover who you are and what really makes you happy. And, if you want a family and even, you're a religious person, you want a Christian marriage, you want to chill, you want to be in the community or something like that, good. That's great. You're the man. If you want to like live a faster lifestyle, cool. That's also fine. Whatever it is you want to do that brings benefit to the world, brings benefit to you, you have to find that for you. And you won't do that on the internet by itself. You have to show up to places, you have to do things, you have to experience things. You know what I mean? And it's cool to see that these guys are there. I wasn't able to come, as but I missed out. That's a good group, it looks like. Yeah.
Very good group. Very good group.
Andrew, you got a split, you said?
Yeah, I got to bounce. But thank you guys for having me on, guys. You guys need to get involved, whether you're getting involved as part of the Masculine Empowerment Network and you're signing up there, or preferably if you're coming over and hanging out with us in Bangkok and really having a life-changing experience. Either way, get out there and do it. Put in the work, right? A lot of these guys you see, Danny Hirales, man, that brother has put in the work. And I know because I just saw him last week. We literally went on a double date in Manila. It was absolutely great. And he's absolutely a guy who puts in the work. He's consistent. He's a fantastic dude. And that's the type of guy you want to be. And remember, if you're looking at any of these guys and saying, man, I can never get there, they were where you were. They were where you were. They've leveled up, right? You guys can get there. You guys can get to where John is, where Paul is, where I am. We're not like some sort of godlike figures that you cannot achieve. You can achieve the same type of success that others have succeeds that we've achieved as well. That said, guys, thank you for joining, guys, and I will see you guys hopefully in Bangkok. Take care, guys.
See you later. Peace out. Thanks so much. All right, let's go back to this and check out some more of the stuff.
Very, very abundantly clear. Okay, this weekend is not about me being cool. It's not about trying to make content for YouTube. I fucking hate that shit, quite frankly. The best gift you can give me is the gift of you changing your life. Okay. People in this room are living proof. Like Jordan is living proof. Andrew's living proof. Ozzy's living proof. Donovan over there in the corner is living proof. Fam is fucking living proof. For a lot of these guys, Billy's living proof. Okay. Zach, you just get started. That's our goal. Okay. Augie as well. Right. We want to help you guys. So ask us all the questions throughout the weekend. All right. Anything we can do to help you, we're going to hear. That's what we're here for. That's my life goal.
I love to fucking lift weights. I love to lift weights. I love the way that I feel when I lift.
So this is like a series of instructional things that we did here on the weekend. So we have Lou here. I'm not going to play his whole little thing, but he's a guy who came through and signed up for the program last year. And really just, wanted to kind of clear up some things that were going on with him mentally, and just wanted to elevate himself to the next level. And as you can see, the guy is like legitimately fitness Chad status. He's starting his brand. Actually, Andrew from the Legal Mindset gave him the idea for the name Lifting Lawyer. and he's doing a really good job with the brand. It's been only a couple months that he's been doing it. Getting some real good traction, and you guys can watch this on the replay, but we're not going to sit there and talk about that too much. But I do want to play Jordan's little section here about inner game, because I think this is the thing that, I've been, myself and Paul here have really been leading the charge on the whole inner game thing, because I just don't think people truly realize how important inner game is. Like they really
don't.
We have no idea how it is literally everything, right? Would you go as far as to say that?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, everything that you're trying to do and trying to get is, how do I describe it? It's a 25-meter target. It's the thing that's right in front of you that's causing you usually the most amount of pain or fear that you want to solve. You know what I mean? Your dating life sucks, and you're tired of, not having girls in your life, and that's a pain point for you. So what do, right? You head into that, you try to work on that, and you want to learn all the things, but it's like trying to power a machine with broken parts, a faulty engine, a faulty belts. Like, you just can't power through and get what you want. You know what I mean? You just aren't going to get the things that you need from just going after that target. What's going to happen is there's probably things on inside of yourself that has been limiting you to get those things. But when I say, like, and you say all the time too, like when we say it, like your inner game is the thing, guys don't understand. Like, they don't get it. And the average guy, and they think, they just assume that it's going to work itself out. They don't think this is something I need to pay for, do, and work on every day. They think, well, I just need, oh, you're going to tell me how to get the girl? Oh, okay, here's $1,000. Let me take that course. And what's the right, how do I open, bro? Okay, cool. But that's, your opener isn't why you're not successful. I've gone out and, as for fun, just did no openers and would do no openers. You actually been with me in Miami. What were my openers? That didn't have any openers.
Hey.
I just would start talking.
Hey, yeah, like, that's a lot of right now. We have the inner game July support group going. One of the guys asking me, he's like, what's the opener? What's the opener? Like, they think, like, if they, like, it's like, if they say, like, the secret word, like, the girl's gonna be like, oh, okay, like, this is what you wanted.
Right. I know. It's like, oh, here's my vagina. Wow. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's like they think that there's the secret. It's like they're looking at it like people look at video games, like A/B, left, right, up, down. Is that what it is? Like, what's the secret formula? And it's like, the secret formula isn't here. It's how you're doing it. I can say the most. You could tell me what to say at an opener, and it could be the stupidest thing on earth. You could feed me bad openers, and I guarantee I'll still get better results. Like, I'll still get good results. A guy with good game will get good results even with bad openers, because if it's a bad opener, right? He can laugh about it, and it's what he follows up with that'll matter. But it's just what you have going on inside of yourself. We're talking about openers and meeting women or something, right? That resonates to the outside world, and people are designed. We're designed to pick up on micro communication, and we're designed to pick up on things. A lot of times we're not consciously aware of it, but it's part of being a social animal. We can pick up on facial, you've been picking up on facial expressions since you were a baby.
Yeah.
We have these instincts to pick up on these things. And, when people are trying to act a part, but then they're messed up inside, some of those things will come out. The only exception being pure psychopaths and predatory people who really can, get really skilled at playing this part, right? But that's hopefully not any of our clients. You know what I mean? The average person who's a good, decent person who just wants someone to care about them and someone to care for, a good relationship, good friendships, to feel a sense of purpose when they wake up in the morning. The good dudes that are out there, you're the ones who are going to have things going on inside of you that are going to limit you, and it will come out in your behavior, in your micro communication, and in the way that you do things. And it's a difference between turning on or turning off, success in different areas of your life. So it's some of it's skill set too. So in other words, there is a skill involved, like you want to get better at basketball, learn basketball, right? And practice, right? And get the skill. But for social stuff and social game, you kind of already have things already developed, and developing these skills, even if you're like an autistic person, is something you can learn. But what's going on inside of you, it's what's going to mess you up. It's like, do you want to run a race with, or drive, you want to drive a race with like a Bugatti or a supercar that like kills it? Or do you want to be doing the race with, a Chevy Cavalier that's broken down on the inside, right? Like, it's like you need to have the machinery inside of yourself tuned up to the highest levels. So when you execute the different skills, like, for example, if somebody doesn't have good inner game and they go to execute some skills in business, they might get some results, you know what I mean? But guy with really, really solid inner game is going to 10x those results. He's going to get like 10x more, from it. And it's also different areas too. Like, one person might be really good with fitness, and that's like an area he doesn't struggle with, and his inner game doesn't interrupt. His inner game is solid when it comes to applying it to his motivation to go work out and stick to that program, right? But then he is in his personal life or his friendships, and he's socially awkward, and then and girls think he's weird, or or he goes to try to accomplish things in his career and he's failing and losing business and not following through. So it's also different areas, you know what I mean? Like, it's one area that your brain doesn't see as a challenge, you'll excel in. And you see this, John, guys who are, a lot of my typical avatar of a client are guys who are actually successful and were able to get married at one point in their life, usually, because a lot of them marry and are divorced then. But their inner game is so messed up when it comes to relationships and women that, despite the fact that they look good and they make they're alpha males, they make that dent in the universe, they got money, well, they're screwing up the relationships. They're not getting the dates they want. They're getting rejected. They're getting into relationships with toxic women. They're getting attached to women that are not good for them. And, this is all stuff that is inner game based, right? And these are successful people. So, and it could be anything. I know some guys who are great guys out there and phenomenal in every area of their life, but they're broke all the time. They can't do well financially. They struggle with that because there's some inner game things interrupting that. So it's the thing that your brain will struggle with is the thing that is going to end up showing up as bad results in your life later. And you need to learn the skills for sure, but you got to work on the machinery on the inside. And if that machinery is broken, those skills aren't going to do anything for you.
It's only a matter before these things manifest in the physical realm. You have to get these things under control. Like, as a man, you have to solve the problems you have in your life. And for me, one thing was, when I was working with you, I had like pretty big breakthrough in my life in Q4 of 2021. And I noticed, like, not that it really matters to a degree, but like, after I cleared up a lot of my unresolved traumas and anxieties and shit that I was dealing with, I noticed that, like, I just gave off this aura that was just way more calmer. And I just started attracting like way hotter girls, like way higher quality girls. Like, I remember one time this girl came over and I was like, she was on my sofa. She's fucking gorgeous. She's like 24, like amazing body. And I remember she had like this fucking really sexy Zara dress on, and I was like unzipping the front of it, going for the kill. I was like, is this okay? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I want this. I was like, all right, and it's just unreal when you because a lot of guys, and when I was younger too, in my mid 20s, 24, 25, around then, you're just, a lot of young guys are just like caught in this haze of like anxiety and self-doubt and like, they think they're freaks. They think they're weirdos because, they're trying to fit into a world because they don't really accept and love themselves, and they feel like everything I do is wrong and everything on the outside, these are the normal people and I'm just a freak, I'm the weirdo, I'm the retard, something's wrong with me. And that's just not the case whatsoever. That is just not the case whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I just think so many people just accept that as their fate, and really it's just not true whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, they really don't. People, I think, have a very boomer mentality. I say boomer because this is like a lot of boomers think this way, that you're born a certain way and that you can't make any changes. And it's like, no, you people can change phenomenally when they put their minds to it and they have a good behavioral plan. They handle the emotions. They got accountability. Like you can make phenomenal changes. I mean, sure, you have a certain genetic makeup, but so what? You know what I mean? You can take that genetic makeup and take it in any direction you want to. There's so much flexibility, with who you are. And this is for everybody that's listening right now. You have a lot of flexibility as to where you want to go with what you've been given. Your genetic, makeup is not a determining factor of really where you want to go. You know what I mean? And this includes even like looks or fitness. Like, yeah, some people are more genetically gifted physically than others, but that doesn't matter. There's a certain level you can get to that'll still put you in the top 10% of guys, most likely, for most people who don't have the genetic gifts. You know what I mean? Like you can still, like, somebody who's an ugly dude can make himself look pretty damn good actually, and then make the other things in his, that he brings to the table much higher. And then women love that guy. You know what I mean? And so
it frustrates me because I'm going to do a show later this week on, it's going to actually be a show called Deep Japanese Seduction. It's about these guys who work in these host clubs here in Japan, and how they just get into these girls' minds and fleece them. Like this was 2000. It was a documentary filmed in 2006. And in 2006, these guys are consistently pulling in $50,000 a month, just like working in like a bar that's catered to targeting a certain type of woman. And then it just like the game that they run on these girls, it's dark. But it's unbelievable to see like how across the globe, like women are like universally the same.
Yeah.
Like they're the same components. And I just think one thing that really upsets me is like how obsessed guys are with their looks, like the whole looks maxing thing, or these guys are like, I just need status, so you look good on Instagram and you have fake followers, you have status, whatever, we're creating an army of like these Instagram alphas who, once there's a conflict in the relationship, they immediately fold, they immediately roll over and show their belly. You know what I mean? They don't have that core inner strength that you really need to be a man and lead and guide a woman. I don't think guys realize how much that if they want to be in a relationship with a woman, you have to lead her or guide her, or she's not going to feel safe and secure with you. If you're constantly like letting her, deferring to her and letting her, make all the choices, she's not going to like you as much as she can. Like you have to understand, if you want a relationship as a man with a woman, you have to start becoming competent in leadership. There's no negotiation with that. Would you agree, or what would you say?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, they're designed to follow a dominant man in their life. I mean, it's just that's part of that design. Now, the social conditioning is saying other things, but the social condition, you can't socially condition out some of those parts that are in our mammalian brain, in our hard drive. She has in her hard drive, even the most dominant, boss woman out there or whatever, has it in her hard drive to fall for and be a little girl when that alpha guy is leading her. And I know because I used to do it and still do it. I do it with my girlfriend now, but you do it all the time. And it didn't matter the girl's avatar. Now, for a long-term relationship success, it starts to matter a little bit more. But, in terms of like her reactions in a moment, like, no, she's reacting to dominant guy like a feminine girl. And some of them don't know how, like they haven't done that in so long and are so uncomfortable with that they might even do it awkwardly, or it brings up conflict, it brings up issues for them, because they're like, wow, I just want to say yes, sir, and do what this guy is telling me to do. And that makes me feel bad about myself because, you know, feminism taught me that if I listen to a man, I don't have any value, and they can create, you know, Western women can have this conflict, but doesn't stop the reaction. It doesn't stop that mammalian brain to go, you know, follow a guy who's leading and leading properly. That's what she wants. You know what I mean? And ultimately they're all looking for that. You know, if you look at the stuff that they read for romance type novels down to, I mean, the 50 Shades of Grey is out of date now, but it was a really good example because women were starving for a guy that has value and tells them what to do. And it's like, that's their little secret, you know, their secret little porn, you know, girl porn that they're reading, right? Is just some dude who's has some value, telling some girl what to do, what to wear, where she's going to go, you know what I mean? Leading sexually, all those things, you know? And this is why girls go for toxic relationships and a-holes, because they don't know what leadership looks like. And then the a-hole comes along and he's an a-hole and doesn't respect her and is dominant, but that, you know, that turns her on because she's starving for that man to lead her. And when an asshole comes in, she's like, oh, my nether regions are feeling a certain way. I didn't feel that way about the nice guy I was dating earlier. You know, the guy that did whatever I said, I don't feel this way, but this guy who's actually a jerk and maybe in and out of jail is making me feel some type of way, you know, and that's what they go for it. And I'm not saying to be that guy, obviously, but that's how much women are starving for that guy. And I think that's, you know, some cultures are better at not squashing masculinity than others, but it's kind of a universal thing now. You know, it's with the internet, you know what I mean? Guys are becoming, even in those places of the world, becoming less and less dominant, less and less masculine, less and less good leadership qualities. And women are like dying. Yeah. Just kind of just like, help me, you know? And this is why, like, people get mad. They look at me, 46-year-old guy, you know, who's, you know, I'm not this young guy, whatever. I'm not a Calvin Klein model. And I come in and I get a hot girlfriend. I get a hot girl that's, you know, in her 20s and looks gorgeous and used to my, you know, and it's like, that's my track record for a while. Guys, people would get mad about that because it's just like, well, why would this girl in her mid-20s who has all of these options, why would she go for like this guy who's 20 years older? I'll tell you why. She'll tell you why. Because guys are so weak out there. It's like, it's almost impossible for her to find that guy who can lead and handle her the right way. You know what I'm saying? And so like, that's what it is. And so like, it doesn't matter your age as a guy, if you're 25 or, you know, 55, if you start learning how to be your masculine version of you know, what's this thing say here?
This guy's talking shit. It's okay. It's this guy. That's hilarious.
You know?
He's on our side. Don't worry. But yeah, you know, and I just think like the biggest struggle here's I'm gonna just talk to you. So obviously I'm trying to figure out with like the channel, right? I'm kind of like, okay, does my message suck? Am I shadow banned? Do guys just not give a shit, right? But then I was watching Brandon Carter the other day, right? And like, if I get to hang out or listen to Brandon, like for me, it is just like the most edifying experience. He has 1 million subscribers on his channel. His Victory Talk show is doing 150 to 200, give or take. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm wondering, like, maybe just people just don't actually want to try. Maybe people just are getting blackpilled and giving up. I just truly, I am at a loss for words. But you know, like when I do like, you know, some kind of drama stream where I'm talking shit about somebody or whatever, like, you know,
right, that gets all the hits, right?
300, 400 live stream viewers. So it's like, where are we in this space? Like in the current culture? Because I do think we're making progress with the culture war. There's no doubt about that. We are absolutely changing America, changing the world. Like women are literally getting back into the kitchen. Like the trad wife meme, the trad wife trend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, but I just think like, if there really is this few amount of guys who are actually willing to do the work, then it just like, there's just so much more out there for you. Like for me, if I wanted to, I could have dates 7 days a week, but I don't want to do that shit. I am fucking sick of
Yeah,
like,
sure.
to a degree. You know what I mean?
Sure, right.
Because you've mastered it, you've moved on. It is like no longer mentally stimulating. It is no longer entertaining, right?
Right.
And so I'm just looking at this whole space and just kind of like trying to figure out where we are. But like, you know, these levels of mastery are achievable. I just want to make that very abundantly clear to you guys. But there is work required. You have to do work. You cannot go around it. Like, it's the same way. If you want to go to the gym, you're not going to do 10 sets and have a fucking amazing chest. You're going to need to do 10,000 sets to get that nice chest.
Over time, right.
Over time. You know what I mean? So,
not on Monday, but you could try though.
But you know, the situation right now is, I don't know. It's perplexing. I truly am trying to figure it out. But even like with the bigger channels, when I talk to Fresh and Fit and stuff, you know, they say like their Money Monday shows and their self-improvement shows and shit, they said it's always the lowest value, lowest viewership. And so,
Yep. Well, it's something that we're sort of all trying to figure out, and as something I've struggled with for a long time, as somebody who's been on YouTube for a while, but has actually a very, very small following, even though it seems like a lot of people do like my work. So it's kind of like, what's going on? And I still will try to do the things to get, you know, have a good camera, have a good backdrop, you know, branding, like all the right things, you know, for marketing, right? That's what you do. But when it comes down to it, we got a couple things going on. So, and this is where there really is a matrix, like, in a sense, you know what I mean? It's not an organized cabal of guys who meet a couple times a year to control the world or anything. It's what you have is marketing interests. And when people are in, you know, unsatisfied with their lives, when people are not doing well, they spend money, you know. And then we're also attracted to threat, danger, train wrecks, right? Versus that's what our system wants to see, those things, because, you know, we're designed to look for threat and danger and problem so we can avoid those problems. But that was during a time before internet was invented, right? So internet's been invented, but we've been around for 200,000 years. And so our brain is designed to seek out like drama, danger, fighting, threat, like all the bad stuff. Our brains are designed to seek that out, not seek out self-improvement by itself and getting into better places. And so people like to purposelessly entertain themselves with these other things. They go for the things that stimulate, you know, drama. And drama is the most popular thing. You talk smack about somebody or whatever, do a takedown video that's going to get 10 times more views, or a lot more views at least, than, hey, let's work on your finances. Because to work on your finances, that's painful.
Yeah.
You know, like to go, oh, I'm broke and I suck, and let me figure this out. That doesn't feel good. To watch somebody dunk on somebody else, though, that's or something comical or something, you know, that makes somebody feel good. And self-improvement spaces now are designed to do things that give them the illusion that they're going to get better by watching it. But then really, though, it's more of a dunk or a controversy or this. So it's an entertaining thing, but the illusion is, but if I watch this stuff, I'll get better. And the guys who do that kind of content oftentimes will try, you know, to put out good messages amongst the things that get them the audience. But most people just won't listen to those things, then they're interested in the other things. Wow. So there's the human nature side, but then there's also the algorithmic side too. So you have, you know, you want to know why you're locked inside for a year. Here's my theory, you know, back a couple of years ago. Here's my theory. You have e-commerce internet marketing. that skyrocketed, as well as pharmaceutical industry skyrocketed by keeping you inside. You know what I mean? People taking pharmaceuticals to include the vaccine through the roof now in those numbers, right? And the amount of money they walked away from. Amazon is a huge company. I love Amazon, helps me out all the time, makes my life more convenient. But you lock people inside. That's what they're doing. They're ordering stuff online to make themselves feel better. And so, like, to have a healthy and good relationship and a stable, let's say a stable marriage, if we're going to go traditional, with a couple kids and being healthy, you drive your one kid to soccer practice a couple times a week. You know what I mean? You go, you bang the wife regularly, you know, you go do cool things. You work on your work, like that stable family that's living life and living the dream. Guess what? They're actually not spending as much money on dumb stuff. You know what I mean? And so there's the algorithms are designed, I think, to suppress things that would in some ways be helpful and make people feel better if those things don't fit a social narrative. And that's the other side of it. So you got YouTube, for example. I mean, hey, no offense, YouTube, but you are in California, in a very liberal area of the world, and they have an ideology. When you promote things that will help people be happy, that don't fit into their paradigm of what they think is right and ideologically right, they will suppress your content. I have the data to show that, because I was struggling with this. I looked at they talked about fringe content, not bannable stuff, but fringe stuff, where they basically suppress those algorithms so that it doesn't get out to new people. Well, what's a fringe thing? Who decides that? Well, we don't know. And so I'll tell you who decides. A bunch of people in YouTube, you know, they're setting parameters on the computer, but those parameters are going to be based off of what's politically popular and to them, and things that are unpopular to them, they don't get out there as much. The only exception would be like after a certain point, you know, like, so if somebody can get big enough, quick enough, and get advertising dollars means less suppression. So you can get away with a lot more crap. Like Fresh and Fit, for example, got away with their messaging because they were so skilled at doing a podcast, and they were so skilled at marketing their stuff. These guys are very good at what they do. And so they were so skilled at getting out there that people ran to it despite algorithmic suppression in the beginning. And then they got advertising dollars. So then YouTube says, okay, well, we won't suppress them anymore. We'll make some money, until it got to a point where it was politically or not an advantage to them. They felt like it was an advantage. Then they they unmonetize them. Same with Pearl, right? But you had these very skilled podcasters with a production team and all this stuff. That's what it took to get those messages out there and to collect an audience. Do you know what I mean? They could run run a television show with what they have in terms of quality, you know, of everything they got going on. And so, yeah, they got past algorithms for a while, until what happened though? They got shut down. Why are they shut down? Ideological reasons. That's why. It's not because people don't want to watch them. People love watching that stuff. People love watching their show. No, they're not monetized, and they're more algorithmically suppressed now because it doesn't fit the ideology. Because there's also a belief that, well, if, you know, people are more feminist, or people are more woke, or people are more this, then that's going to, you know, support the companies that we want to support. Like there's a monetary thing to that. Do you know what I mean? And so it's all part of it's all part of taking your money, is really what it boils down to. And there's the parts of the brain and human beings that are not attracted to good content and attracted to the divisive things. Like there's a part of your brain that's going to want that anyway. But then there's the algorithmic suppression that happens in a lot of places. I started off my channel filming in Afghanistan, and I didn't know what a thumbnail was. So with that, I didn't monetize quickly, and I started immediately talking about, you know, stuff about men and women that says that, surprise, surprise, men and women are different. I wasn't that divisive, but I was small enough and divisive enough for the people in California to where my channel doesn't get the traction. And I do believe that that's the case. I have certain videos have gotten a lot of traction, but for the most part, I'm a little bit suppressed. Now, if I had some different level of credibility or did something different, like we look at a guy like Psychex, for example. Psychex says things and gets away with things right now. When he started off, because I looked into that because I was curious, how is this guy so popular? Well, he does a great job on YouTube. First of all, his script, he does scripted videos. You know what I mean? He sounds clear. He's a psychologist, so you know he has that air of credibility and authority. But he didn't get suppressed in the beginning because he talked about normal psychology stuff, and it wasn't anything divisive. And then when he hit 100,000 subscribers and around that level, where he had more advertising dollars, more views, now he took a left turn into, we could say, more red pill kind of type stuff, right? He can get away with more. Some of it is demographic too. I hate to say it, but like Pearl, for example, gets away with so much stuff. At least she did for a while until she was demonetized because she's a woman. Just that simple fact. Now, she's also very good at what she does. I'm not taking that away from her. She's very good at what she does. I mean, she knows how to get engagement. She has a team behind her. They know what they're doing. You know, I could take notes from them. They're great. And I have no, you know, but she can get away with more things than you or I could because she's a woman. You know what I mean? So demographic matters. And so we're dealing with this algorithm suppression. It's not like, oh, it's not personal. It's not like, oh, I don't like Paul, I'm going to ban him. Like, there's no one behind the scenes doing that necessarily. But we're not told clearly why is your channel not 1 million subscribers, John? We're not told why. You're not told what to do. You know, you can follow things, but it's almost like, it's like people trying to predict the stock market with dealing with YouTube algorithms, which is insane, by the way. It should be clear. Hey, if you say these things, we're just not going to promote your stuff. All right, tell me what it is. But they don't want to say that they're censoring because then people will know that their ideas are being controlled and being suppressed. I mean, that's what it is. It's control of ideas. If you look up, you know, relationship communication and you get a bunch of stuff that is very watered down that treats men and women as if they're the same, okay, equal. Equal means same, meaning same, not fairness, not, you know, fair communication, but equal, like, you know, there's no difference between a boy and a girl when they communicate, like their brains are the same and their communication is the same and all that stuff. That's what you're going to get. You will not get something that says, okay, when you're handling a woman, you got to do this. And hey, ladies, when you're handling a guy, you got to do this because there's certain things that we default to. Nope, that will get suppressed. If a woman is saying stuff, she won't get suppressed. If a guy is saying stuff, though, about men and women being different, forget about it, man. So, oh, you're muted, bro.
Yeah, that's happens on TikTok. Actually, King Dre, he said like he literally did a test when he said the shit that was verbatim of chicks saying, but he just flipped it for men, and they got in trouble. He got like a strike or something like that. 100%. So, or it was either that or suppressed. But I mean, for people just saying like the shadow ban doesn't exist, I mean, you're just absolutely fucking retarded. Like that shit absolutely exists.
Right. And so this guy over here, man, so, you know, oh, Mr. Beast figured out the algorithm. Yeah, okay. Mr. Beast was not putting out content that's divisive to censors over in, you know, YouTube land. That's the reality. He didn't he has some stuff now that he's huge, sure. He's too big to be suppressed now. He has to take it really far. Mr. Beast would have to go really far and get negative press for YouTube and have a lot of complaints and stuff for people to cancel him. And I could start naming creators. I won't do it, but they didn't start off with advice for men. They started off with something different, and then they transitioned into that when they got more popular. I screwed up and didn't follow that formula. Maybe I'll try it on Apex Inner Game, where I stick to more gender neutral mindset topics and then transition that channel later. We'll see how that goes. You know what I mean? So it's figuring it out, you know, but that's what they're not, you know, people aren't seeing that. They assume that popularity is, You know, like your number of views, your number of likes is means that somehow you're more of an expert, or somehow you have. It's not. It's absolutely not true. You know, but I mean, I don't care. You know, if they think that, then that's fine, I guess.
We'll figure it out.
You know,
We'll figure it out. We'll get around to it.
yeah. I mean, it's fine.
I want to go back to this little segment here when he talks about inner game, because he really talks about the importance of inner game here.
Yeah.
This is Jordan on the second day Friday.
Friend here, Jordan.
Yeah,
who is a proud member of the community. And we're going to be talking about, this is the most important thing, okay? Inner game is the relationship you have with yourself. It's how you treat yourself. It's your beliefs. It's all that. I believe that this is the most important part of success, women, finances, fitness. I believe that this is the X factor that a lot of people do not really try to get handled, and it ends up being a bad problem for them later down in life, okay? Everything comes down to how much you love yourself and respect yourself. You know, how much money you make, the body you have, fucking the girl in your life, all that jazz comes down to inner game. So we're going to talk about that today.
And this is why it's unhelpful to compare yourself to others. Everyone is just a collection of their own experiences and their own subsequent interpretations. Two seemingly identical children, twins even, could experience the same event and produce completely different interpretations of the event. I've asked my siblings about this. I've told them about the things that my parents did that really bothered me, and they can barely remember them. And they're completely fresh in my mind. I remember exactly how I felt at this time, and they're like, they did that? I don't remember them doing that. And we were in the same household. My brother's only almost a year younger than me. We experienced the same things. Shouldn't we be the same? No. It's because we interpret it differently. And so all of you have different upbringings and backgrounds. I've had many clients come to me and say, well, I didn't have it that bad because I know other people that had it worse. I shouldn't deal with my own issues because other people have it worse. I should just deal with it. The problem with that statement is, like, if you were them, having grown up with all the same experiences and interpretations, you would be them. And if they had grown up in your shoes, they would be you. It's not logical to compare yourself to others. And so whatever your internal issues are, whatever your struggles are, it's your own journey. You're allowed to still, no matter what your journey is, you're still allowed to go in and heal yourself. Most of your actions are a direct result of your subconscious beliefs. And you can always consciously override this, but this takes constant energy and concentration to avoid it. So if any of you have really high approach anxiety, and you're just feeling like you're forcing yourself to go out, because the natural thing you want to do, the natural thing your subconscious beliefs want you to feel is, don't go talk to that girl. And so you have to muster up all this energy and effort just to go talk to her. And that is a lot of energy. That's a lot of and focus and pressure on yourself. The subconscious beliefs come first. So let's then ask, what are the most common negative subconscious beliefs that people have? My mentor and friend, Ryan Fowler, who many of you probably know, boils them down to 5 things. I'm not good enough for myself. I'm not good enough for others. I'm not good enough to get what I want. I have anger, resentment at myself or others. And I'm not safe. And healthy beliefs are the opposite of those things. I am good enough for myself. I am good enough to get what I want. I am good enough for other people. I don't have hate and anger and resentment towards others or myself. I do feel safe. And so we're going to do a poll. This is why I asked people to get out their cell phones. I want to hear from you. What do you think other people struggle with the most? I think you can clearly see confidence is the largest one. Procrastination, self-doubt, self-worth. I'll read a couple more. Lack of self-worth, getting too distracted, self-hatred, feeling good enough, financial freedom, not meeting your potential, frame, perseverance, taking action, addiction, distrusting others, concentration, progression, long-term planning, social anxiety, inner value, apathy, sleep, worthiness, wealth, comparison, myself, dopamine. These are all very common. And these are all a reflection of basically how you feel about yourself. So self-esteem is basically, do you like yourself? And so, self-hatred, lack of self-worth, those are, again, toxic shame. I'm not good enough. Confidence is pretty general, but that is often related to you not feeling good enough. You're not confident in yourself. Let's see a couple others. Social anxiety. I'm not good enough for other people. Let's see. Dopamine. That could be used as a method of covering up that feeling of I'm not good enough. Not meeting my potential. I don't feel good enough. I'm not good enough to get what I want. So people with the subconscious belief that they are good enough, back to the planets and the orbiting objects analogy, people with the belief that they are good enough take actions that reflect that belief. For example, I'm good enough for other people, therefore I'm going to make friends and treat them well, or I'm going to go talk to girls. I'm good enough for girls. That was one of the things I had to get over. Another example, I'm good enough for myself, therefore I'm going to take care of myself by eating well, sleeping well, going to the gym, other things. There are tons of possible examples that I could address, but it doesn't work very well in the opposite direction. Going to the gym, sleeping well, eating healthy is not going to make you feel good enough if you didn't feel good enough in the first place. That's really important. And that'll segue me into my next topic, because healthy behavior will only affect your beliefs so much.
All right, guys. So the reason why we're doing this section pretty upfront is I just want you guys. So I think what I think what Jordan said about the inner game is so really, really, really important, because the big problem that we're having in America, all of this simping, all of this shit, this is because we're heading towards, with the African American community, right? The majority of the households are single mother households and or broken households, right? And then that's, typically what the government does and the elites do to the black community. They experiment on the black community, and then they bring it on up to the whites. And now they're trying to fucking destroy the family for, the other people in America. And when you come from these single mother households, these broken homes, it's just, it really fucks with your inner game. And then that's when you start simping. That's when you start not really loving yourself. And so you think okay, this girl is treating me like shit, but if I give her money, or if I give her this, or if I give her that, then she's going to like me. And then reality is, no, she's just going to fleece you for resources while she goes and finds a guy that she does like. So, it's the backbone of all the problems in our culture is bad inner game, in my personal theory.
Yeah. No, I think so. I think that is what it is. Our inner game has gotten worse as technology and productivity based on technology and machines and tools have gotten better. You know what I mean? And so what's suffered is the inner game and the parts, the things that are inside of us. I think that, that's just what I think. I think that when people had to spend more time with themselves in contemplation, instead of being able to distract themselves with all the things going on in the world, we've built a more mentally and emotionally unstable human being over decades and decades and decades. Yeah. And so, and that's the challenge that we have. And so now we have all these people who are mentally and emotionally unstable, trying to make choices, on things like laws and what they consume and how they behave in public, how they run their relationships and how they show up to work and all these different things. And it's there's so many people are just unsatisfied and struggling, because of it. It's just so, and that's just what it is. And they don't feel good about themselves, and they're I think people are just really suppressed nowadays, and it hinders a lot of things for them.
Take a look at this. I'm gonna go full conspiracy theory. Okay. When we started talking about the shadow ban, look at the drop off. Like, I can't even.
I know.
We started talking about the shadow ban. Either the people at home are like, "Fuck this, I don't want to watch this," and then
dude, that is so funny, man. It's so hilarious because, and then I've seen some pushback in the chat. It's really just one dude, but whatever. I mean, it's like, run your mouth, bro. Like, run your effing mouth, dude. I know, because I've looked into and talked to experts on this, because it's been something that I've been looking at. It's like, and so I know this is a thing, and I don't care. I know, and I have stuff to prove it, and I have evidence to prove it. Now, I didn't have evidence a couple years ago. I do now, because I wasn't the only one saying this, and so more and more stuff came out. And and if you actually look at like the memos and the forums that come out from the corporation itself, when they talk about community standards and some of these different things, it's built into it. It's built into the system. You're just so damn brainwashed that you accept it. You know what I mean? And it's all about money and ideology, and a little bit of control. And if you're not a controllable person, you don't get promoted quite as much. And I'm going to say something controversial, because, and watch everybody. I love when I violate people's little safe world theories and shit. You know what I mean? Because like, it's just like it's like red pilling it, dude. Like, you say, well, guess what? Women aren't what you thought. And they're like, no. And then they start fighting it. Right. So I'm going to say something that a lot of guys who probably agree with me on a lot of stuff will fight on this one, is that what these companies do with the algorithms should be illegal. Now, watch the pushback. And now they're going to push back because they're a private company. They're a private company. They're their own person. They should, because you've been brainwashed, and that's okay. You think a whole group of people with hundreds and hundreds of people should be treated like an individual? You really think that? That to me is crazy. That should fall in its own separate category. And I'm not saying that companies shouldn't be separate. You know what I mean? And I mean, and that company shouldn't have less regulation and be able to operate in the free market. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a big difference between an individual that's made up, an individual by law that's made up of thousands of people with billions of dollars, and the guy sitting at home. Like, those are two different things that need to be treated differently. And then we also had something called freedom of press. What was freedom of press, right? We had a certain standards and practices that were universal, and we couldn't discriminate based on ideas when it came to delivering press. So if somebody wanted to put out a controversial article, they didn't get censored. Well, with social media, first of all, where do people get their news nowadays? This is not everyone's going to agree with this. I realize it. But where do people get their news nowadays? People get their news from social media. The number one source from people learning about the world is what's on social media. So these media companies have become essentially the press, and the content creators are the people delivering the message, right? Well, if they're being censored and suppressed, it's essentially violating the First Amendment right. You know what I mean? They should be able to, in an uncensored way, other than based on universal standards or whatever, like, there should be at least there should be universal and clear standards. The standards are not clear and they're not universal. I shouldn't have a different standard than a woman talking about, let's say, feminism. You know what I mean? Like, that woman who's, let's say, not feminist and has negative things to say about feminism, because she's a woman, she won't get suppressed. Because I'm a man, I will get suppressed. Why is it okay to suppress people based on their demographic data? And I know that they do this because if you just read the memos and the forums every year that they do, and they talk about this stuff. It's built in that system. You know what I mean? It's like it's built. It's right there. They say that they discriminate based on ideas and demographic data. When is that supposed to be okay? Like, there needs to be some stuff out there for this, because they're controlling your thoughts and ideas. Is plain and simple. That's what it is. Now, when you know it's happening, then you choose more carefully the content you consume. You know, dig a little deeper. Don't just go on your main homepage and click what's there when you search something. You know, take recommendations from people who are watching this right now, or you watch my stuff. Share the video, you know, recommend it to others, because if the idea doesn't fit whatever chaos is going on with the algorithms, it won't get out there, and that material could be exactly what somebody's looking for.
Yeah.
They're feeding you the information for you to consume and then behave off of that, and they're giving you the illusion that you have choices. You don't have choices.
So then what do you think it is? Do you think that our content is just not what they want people to be watching in regards to it could be, you know, beneficial to the average guy? Do you think what we say is like controversial, crazy?
Yes, because we are gender biased. That's why. So this is what it boils down to. Even though, like, I have like the least divisive, I'm very not divisive in my content, but I'm gender biased. I'm gender biased. I'm helping men. I'm talking to men. I talk about how men and women are different. That's not okay. I have to be inclusive and treat everybody the same according to the ideology. If I mention that there are genders that are based in sexual characteristics, because it's not just sex characteristics like whether you have a penis or a vagina, it's also how your brain functions, things that are acceptable in biology and neurology, but somehow became unacceptable even in the psychology world. Like, even in the psychology world, in the APA, they don't want to accept that there are gender differences in how the mind works. That is insane to me. Yeah. And so it's not demoralizing women or whatever. It's just by saying men and women are different and having that being the underlying tone that leads to suppressed content. You know what I mean? That's a problem. And empowering men is seen as dangerous. Empowering women's fine. That's okay. Empowering men is seen as dangerous. And yes, there's those that empower men in a really divisive, bad way, and then you end up with some fringe element doing some violent acts somewhere. Yeah, sure, that does happen. And we're not talking about that, though. We're talking about men not doing those things, actually, and improving themselves and doing better and being good to women and good to their communities and good to everyone around them. But they're doing it on their own terms. You know what I mean? They're not doing it according to what some girl thinks is acceptable. They're doing it as to what they think is acceptable as the individual doing the stuff, right? And being in the world. And I would give that same advice to a woman. You do what you think is acceptable, not what somebody else thinks. You know what I mean? But by saying men and women, it's like Kindergarten Cop, you know, like kids like boys have penises and girls have vaginas, you know, like that little scene from Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's funny, you know, 30 years ago or whatever when that movie came out, but like, you know, as applied to now, that's controversial. That's a controversial thing, which is crazy. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that there aren't people with alternative identities, alternative lifestyles, different, you know, sexual preferences or whatever. That's fine. You know, do what you want. I'm not trying to suppress anybody from those things who fit into those categories. I'm not trying to harm anyone, but those are what percentage of the population is that? Very small percentage, you know. But if everyone feels like a victim, though, if everyone feels like, you know, that there's all of this evil stuff that's out there that's out to get them, you know, they're going to consume more divisive content and buy more shit. That's just what it boils down to. And they're going to continue to buy the wrong kind of crap that's going to make themselves feel better. And that's what it is. They're going to continue to take more drugs to make themselves feel better.
You know what's crazy too? Like, if you look at if you look for information on Reddit, everybody's like, shadow bans don't exist. Shadow bans don't exist. Shadow bans don't exist. Like, you know, they are like in the I mean, I don't trust. I mean, people who religiously use Reddit are compromised individuals. I've never met somebody who is religiously and consistently using Reddit who's a
That's
happy
the same person.
They're not happy. Every person I met who like is consistently on Reddit, they're fat, they're unhappy, they get no girls. Like it's just fucking. It's honestly just. And reading through the comments myself, I'm like, God, these guys are just fucking losers. And I feel like Reddit has been co-opted to a degree. I really do.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And I think that it's just a whole, divisive problem. And really, I stopped letting it get to me in a sense and really just focus on what I can do and how I can grow. And what it boils down to for me is taking, here's what I see. Okay. Is that we're moving to a AI, computer driven world where anybody who puts out informational products is doing it through that sort of a filter. They're filtering it through AI marketing, ways of scaling with, repurposing stuff and how quickly can I repurpose my content to create shorts. And it's less like it's taking the person out of the picture in a way, the personality. So my thing, and this is why I'll always be sustainable, whether the world blows up and, we got to, rub two sticks together to make a fire, or whether, AI takes over the world and we got to fight the machines like in Terminator, whatever happens, which of course we won't be in those extremes at all, but whatever happens, I'll always be sustainable. And it doesn't matter how many people I have on YouTube. And the reason why is because I have conversations with people, real people, one-on-one conversations. When I have a conversation in my DM, it's not a salesperson unless they'll tell them if it's somebody different. They'll say, hey, I'm like, there's been occasions like for my email, they'll be like, Brittany will say it's me. You know what I mean? For my Apex Mindset email. It's not somebody pretending to be me. I don't have bots responding to my social media. I don't have, when I do my newsletter and my stuff, I make sure that I'm writing it. I make sure that I'm taking things that I've written or said. And if I do get somebody else to write for me because I need to scale, they're going to sign their name to it, because I want people to know that what I'm coming up with is from working with real people and getting real results out in the world, not just giving you the illusion that real stuff is happening because I'm running it through marketing systems and AI intelligence, software and systems and stuff like that, just to take stuff from the internet and spit out dating advice or whatever. And then just pull all my scripts from that shit. I mean, there's like whole courses now. Courses are a joke now, not yours, not mine, but the world, when it comes to courses, they're a joke, because there's so many companies now telling you how to market a course, and it's like everybody thinks that they can just be idiots and not having, they don't need to actually have studied anything or done anything. They just need to have a marketing plan and a course and then pay somebody thousands of dollars, to learn how to market. Yeah, they'll learn how to market. They'll sell a few courses, but it's already saturated. You know that every guy on YouTube has a course now. Remember when you were the only guy with courses? No. I mean, now everybody has a course, right? And most of them, no offense to those people, they're garbage. Most of these courses are garbage, and there's no quality standard for what they're doing, because they're just saying, oh, well, I could just market this and make some money doing it, whatever. They're not really looking at, how do I provide value? What is my core values and beliefs with what I'm doing when I'm dispensing advice or working with people? What's my process? How do I, take a guy from A to B, have measurable results? Not just, and let me just say this because this has been going around too, not just performance standards from surveys. And I just forgot the name of it now, but I'll look it up in a second. But there's some people saying out there like, oh, it's oh fuck, yes, I forgot. Actually, let me throw this in the chat real quick. our private chat was talking about this. It's the performance. It's measuring performance, how well a company does. Okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so here's the thing. Some people are taking people's testimonials and from surveys and saying, "Oh, see, I'm a good boy, and I have 100% rating in this performance standard because I asked people, do you like me? Do you like my stuff?" And they said yes, and so that's yes. Okay, or even some heartfelt testimonials, and it's not that testimonials aren't good; they're actually important. But I'll tell you why they can be BS and why we need to do something different. So these testimonials and this stuff, right? We're dealing with an intangible service. Like your inner game is intangible. We're dealing like how you feel you're doing with women or your relationships. We can't. It's not like making money where I could go, I'm going to help you make $10,000 a month, right? That would be tangible. Instead, it's, I'm going to help you do better with women. What does better mean? Now I quantify and qualify that for a guy when he's in coaching. So we have something we can measure, because if you can't measure it, then it doesn't exist. It's bullshit. So what guys do is they go on YouTube, and I'm a little fired up now. They go on YouTube, they buy into people's courses, they jump into fucking communities, and then they sit there and they feel like they're doing better. And they're really not doing much of shit, or the little bit better that they're doing is minuscule compared to how much better they should be doing, given the amount of money, time, and energy they paid for some of this stuff. And the reason why is because they're doing intangibles and not measuring it. There's not having any way of measuring their performance. And so then the guy who does those things will ask the survey, ask the question, oh, so what, did you like it? Now here's the thing. Customer satisfaction surveys make sense when you're buying like a product, like, hey, am I satisfied I bought this special ink pen? Send out a survey. Are you satisfied with the service we had, your customer service, the product, all those things? And I answer the questions. That's a good performance measure if you sell something tangible, because my opinion is going to be based in the tangible thing. All right. But when you have intangible, then what happens is it's all based on feelings. So then you catch a guy right after he bought something, or you catch a guy like when he's in a good place, like right after an event, or right. And then the other part is, like, for example, I'm coaching guys, right? So they build a rapport with me. They like me, and they see me as an authority. So they're not going to sit there and go, yeah, your program suck balls. They're not going to do that. They like me. So you get 100% rating. And then you turn around and say, look at me, I'm 100%. Or look at me and look at all my testimonials. Everybody out there, and there's some very, very good and talented people who have great testimonials, and I'm not taking that away, but you have a lot of douchebags with good testimonials too. Mm-hmm. Of course, because they're just getting interviewed or answering these surveys based on something intangible. Now, if you really want to know how well you're doing, when they start with you, you have them measure where they're at, and then you have them measure in 90 days where they're at, and then in a year where they're at. And so now you ask satisfaction questions, and did you meet your goals? Did you meet your metrics? Did you meet your numbers? And then why is that, right? That will give you a more clear picture whether or not your program is working or not. These are things that I'm doing now. And so I just want to just alert people to the grift that's out there. It's all bullshit. Everybody's got a course, everybody's got bullshit, and everybody says they're great. Sure, because you're dealing with an intangible. How many of these guys in some of these places, you know what I'm talking about, how many of these guys get pussy? They showed up there to get pussy. They showed up there to get girls and do well, right? They spend a year or so in that program. How much? They're not doing anything. There's no performance. Now, some of that could be them not following through with stuff, sure, but we should be measuring that. They should know that. Do you know what I mean? Why aren't they following through, right? What's going on? It's because what it is behind the paywall in a lot of these programs is just YouTube again. It's just like, here's the information that I said in a video a couple of weeks ago. Oh, okay. Thanks for that. Here's $1,000. Well, fuck that. You know what I mean? When they come to Masculine Empowerment Network, for example, when I do my sessions, and I know a lot of the guys, they run their sessions the same way. I'd say probably everyone does. I think about, what am I giving to these guys informationally that's going to help? And then how can I have them institute a behavioral plan, institute performance measures for themselves, and it could be something as simple as it's just built into it. Like talk to so many, if it's getting girls or something, talk to so many women, or somebody does workouts, track your workout program. Here's your fitness test, where you're at now test yourself again in 90 days, right? Like these are real programs that where we get results. And it's not just based on the opinions, which I can censor and filter anyway. Right. Oh, this guy said he wasn't happy, so I kicked him out of my group. And then I didn't include his fucking little survey in my 100% rating I got, or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? And there's not just one person doing this. There's a few now. It's a trending thing, I've noticed. And it's using testimonials. There's another one. There's actually a guy I won't mention, but you'll know what I'm talking about. He's he's got 1 million lays and all that, right? That guy. Okay, so that guy, he just collects just testimonials all day long. And if you read those, you think, wow, he must be the greatest coach on earth. No, it's a grift. These guys feel good, and they feel pressured by the guy with the authority who is asking for the testimonial. And so they give a great rating. I'm doing a divorce for guys who've gone through divorce or breakups. I'm doing a 90-day program for some of these guys, and I'm getting and collecting their testimonials, but it's going to be based in performance, and I want them to tell their story. That's a different thing. So now when they come in, they say, I was in pain, I was hurting, I lost half my shit in the divorce, couldn't see my kids. This is all the stuff that's happening. And then I did these things, and here's what happened that's better. And I'm doing much better. I'm no longer, looking at the noose. I'm actually looking at a better life because these things are happening for me. That's a real testimonial when they tell the story, not just Paul's great. I give him a performance rating of 100%. He's the best, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But you should think that we've been working together for 90 days and we it's like we're buddies and shit. So of course you're going to say that. What are you actually doing better though? That's the question. Anyway.
And I've learned this through over the years before I even started my channel, because remember when the red pill used to be big on Reddit, right? That was like the premier forum.
Right.
So I've been, I was working with these guys, and I swear to God, and I try not to be judgmental or whatever, but every guy that I've met from like Reddit pickup forums or whatever with these and they had huge lay reports, so many karma points on Reddit, all this stuff. And so I thought, oh, this guy, this is clearly he's got all these points. He's got all this fucking clout.
Sure.
This is the guy. And then I would meet these guys. These dudes are fucking nerds. I remember one guy, he's this Hawaiian, he's Japanese Hawaiian American guy, right? His name's Kirk Okada, real fucking loser. And I'll never forget this guy. He talks all this shit. He was so condescending. He was acting like he was the man all the time. And I remember we had a group chat, right? And he had pulled this girl over, and he spent the night. He didn't go for the kill, right? She spent the night and he already fucked her. And then he texted us in the morning. He's like, hey guys, I'm in bed with this girl. I've slept with her before. Like, what should I do? And I'm like, aren't you Mr. Moderator? Aren't you Mr. fucking top G on fucking Reddit? I think his username was Red Sun Blue. You can find him on Reddit right now if he didn't delete his shit. But I just remember reading that. I'm like, yo, this guy is a fucking faggot. Like, this guy is a fraud. I'm like, you're in bed with a girl? I was like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, just roll over, start rubbing her ass, start touching her, and slip the panties off and go for it. She's gonna let you do it. She's probably been waiting for you to do it. She's fucked you before. She was drinking with you last night. She's drinking with you tonight, and she's came over to spend the night with you. Like, bro, what you got a great personality? You paying this girl off? No, dude, she obviously wants some dick. And he followed my advice, and then he did it. But did he ever say thank you? Did he ever say no? Got to protect that ego. God forbid someone with less clout, less authority. You know what I mean? They fucking give you a little perspective on life. But yeah, man, the whole you know, look at these things. Like we need quantifiable results. That's why I say, look at the roster of people that have come out for my content, my community. They all, a lot of these guys want to make content. A lot of these guys make some these guys, I get these guys paid. That's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. I get guys fucking paid. I get guys, I dial in their resume. I tell them how to aggressively negotiate for their salary, how to find jobs. Like a guy getting to $100,000 a year because of my community, it's fucking like, you know, it's just another day. It's like nothing to celebrate. It's like, yeah, it's fucking Friday, you know?
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, and I can attest to that too. You've given me help over the years, and it's stuff that is, you know, works and is measurable. But yeah, the word is the general term for it is key performance indicators, and some people will KPIs, right? And it's how you measure whether your company is performing. But beware of anyone who does satisfaction only. No offense, by the way, because they may still be good, right? Because they just might not know. Like, I didn't know this much either until I looked into it, right? And so, but customer satisfaction or is not the only KPI you need to be looking at when you're looking at people like therapy coaches and stuff like that, because you could feel good, but still be doing not so good and not meeting goals, because we're dealing with an intangible. You know, KPI for do I like this ink pen? Well, if the ink pen's not functioning right, or if when I needed it to return, I ordered a bunch of units, I didn't get everything I needed, and I called customer service and I couldn't get through to anybody. Like, if all these things happen, now that KPI for satisfaction makes sense because there's a tangible thing behind it. But if it is something intangible, like, you know, is your relationship better? Are you having better relationships with women? Well, we don't have a direct measure for that. So really what I'm asking is, do you feel better? Do you feel like this was good, us doing stuff? And they're going to say, well, yeah, I feel better and whatever. But if they didn't get any results, that's a measure we need to look at. And I need to look at that as a coach, so I can say, well, why didn't you get results?
Yeah.
You know,
one of the bigger elephants in the room for me too is like, okay, so you claim your red pill, you claim you're fucking this top G, you claim you're amazing. Show me the women in your life. Oh, right. I'm on a 9-month dry spell. I'm in monk mode. I'm like, motherfucker, no, you're not in monk mode. Okay.
Yeah.
You're in monk prison. You put you're not there voluntarily. You're there because you're coping, you know?
Right.
And these, I think, you know, the objective measurements is really important. You know, I think that's why I came up with this thing here. I think these are quantifiable things: money, muscles, game, frame. You know, they're things that you can just say off the top of your head, like, okay, what am I working today on my money, my muscles, my game, my frame? You know, those things right there, those are extremely, extremely important. To, you know, really understand that if you are making progress or not. Like, are you going to the gym? Are you on a diet? Okay, then the scale and the scale should be going down and you should be looking different in the mirror. And if you're not getting those results, then you're either fucking up on the diet, most likely fucking up on the diet, your sleep, or your exercise. But most likely it's the food, to be honest with you. You know, because if you're doing the things right, the numbers should be going down. Period. If you're looking to weight, you know, if you're looking to bulk up, you're like, I can't bulk up. Are you eating enough calories? Are you tracking your macros? Are you just full of shit? You know, you just, I'm going to get it together one day. I was just one of these days. Like, when is one of those days going to be?
Right.
You know,
right. And that's where, like, you know, just one measure or just one KPI that's based in an opinion is something to be aware of, especially like a net promoter score or something like that as your measure. And then beware of that in the coaching spaces, and anybody selling anything intangible, you know, is to just have that. I'm not saying you're going to need more than just an opinion. You're going to need, like, hey, it's like asking a guy that same fitness example you gave. Well, did you like the program? Did you like the coach? Yeah, he was great. He was awesome. But the guy's still fat. You know what I mean? The guy's not doing okay. Well, was he great or was he awesome? Right? If his results weren't there, and then it's a question of why weren't the results there? Do you know what I mean? Is the results not there because they didn't follow through? Right? They didn't listen to their coach. or is the results not there because the coaching program itself is lacking in the areas that they really need it? You know what I mean? Like in a great example is if someone's hiring a fitness coach and all the guy does is write a workout program out and write out a diet plan and then never check and then call me in 90 days, has some pre-recorded fitness videos. There's no accountability there, and there's no measuring on a regular basis, something that's really important for fitness. And so why would you pay that guy, $5,000 or something, right? To do that with you? That's no, you can pay him for the program, pay him a couple $100 for a program. Sure. You know what I mean? But what are you, when you're paying for higher ticket things, or, when you're joining a community or something like that, and like, what are you looking to get out of it? And this is whether or not you're evaluating the coaches or whether or not you're just looking at it for yourself. Don't, guys sitting at home, it's not just about picking the right person, but it's also about evaluating yourself. Don't just ask yourself, well, and this is including me. This is some of my guys are in the chat too. Yeah, fucking, you better do this for you, not just for me. Okay. Like, do I like Paul? Do I like his shit? Is it pretty good? You better fucking say yes. You know what I mean? You're already in the community. You paid a bunch of money and you're showing up every day and you like me and trust me. Of course you're going to say yes. You need to be asking yourself, okay, what are the things I want to get out of this? And then where am I at? I've been doing this for 2 months. Where am I at? And if you're not any place different, you need to come as the coach. I need to know why that is. So I can change something about what I'm doing, or you can change something about what you're doing. This is how I got better at coaching people. You know what I mean? Because I would get feedback, and if they weren't getting results, I would evaluate myself immediately evaluate whether or not I'm efficient, whether or not my method could be better. And since then, since I've been doing this now, especially in a group format, for a number of years now, it's like I've dialed in my process. Now I can get a guy somewhere really fast and get them on that behavioral plan and get them on that stuff and deal with the trauma, the emotions very quickly. It didn't happen. I had to look at, why did this happen? Well, because I'm always having this relentless accountability for myself, and I'm relentlessly always trying to after action review, we call it in the military. Where did I go wrong? Where can I improve? Where did I go wrong? So when a guy is, getting some results, but it's not where I think he should be, all right, what do I need to do different? How can I explain this differently? How can maybe I gave him not enough steps and I need to break it down to smaller steps for him. Maybe I think of all the ways as a coach I can make it easier for this guy to do better. Sure, the onus is on him to do better, but if this guy's paying me a bunch of money to coach him, I damn well better be looking at my own performance and what I need to do to make this guy better. I know you do this to in your own ways and different, like there's quite a few guys in the Masculine Empowerment Network that do this. How many guys in the men's health space do you think fucking do this? They don't. They say, oh, you got to do the work. You got to do the thing. Oh man, you didn't grind it out enough. You didn't do the thing that I said on YouTube, because that's all I really do is do that on my private calls. This is just another version of YouTube. You know what I mean? And then they just flip it around on the guy. You're just kind of you're not doing what you need to do. It's like, yeah, maybe he isn't doing what he needs to do, but what are you doing as a coach, to make it better for that guy, and it's going to be commensurate to the money he's paying, because that's going to be the time. You know what I mean? If a guy's buying into my sexpionage program and we're just talking about game and stuff, I'm doing Q&As, I got course material, there's only so much accountability. If a guy never goes out and uses it, it's a $500 program. You know what I mean? I can't fucking do anything about that. But if a guy's spending thousands of dollars to work with me, you goddamn right. We're sitting down and evaluating this stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah.
It's it's a big thing we have in front of us. But a part of me, I really believe that I just think a lot of guys, they don't want to do the work.
That is true.
I really just think that's the truth,
Sure.
They really just don't want to do the work. Well, look, we've been going for 2 hours and 45 minutes here. I was thinking about covering the rest of it, but it's highlights on the fighting and whatnot. And I think we just covered enough today on today's episode. So what we'll do, I think we'll just can it there. But guys, don't forget, we're going to be going live tomorrow with the Passport Pro Manila. I'm going to jump right into that. Andrew's going to be, we're actually going to cover that one beginning to end. But if you're not on the waiting list for the Masculine Empowerment Network, Paul is going to be there. I'm going to be there. Like I said, quantifiable results. You will get quantifiable results. You will see your life change. You will see a clear change in your life. More women will talk to you. You will get more money in your life if you follow what we tell you to do. You'll have more self-confidence. You'll have more opportunities for relationships. You'll have more opportunities to link up with other guys around the world and physically when we do the Hawaii retreat as well. So all of this is available and more. Remember, August 1st, we're going live. So go to the Masculine Empowerment Network. I'm not going anywhere. Paul's not going anywhere. We're going to figure out the shadow ban thing. We're going to overcome this. We're not going to give up. This is our cross to bear. And it's only a matter of time before we figure this stuff out. I know Paul's had a breakthrough personally with this business recently. I'm so proud of him and happy for him to have that. And, you know, we're not going anywhere. We're not fucking going anywhere. I'm not going to fucking compromise my message. And I do think we're making progress because, you know, the shadow banning stuff, like, you know, Elon Musk came out like, you know, he straight up said, it's like they are shadow banning on Twitter. It is very clear. And they have a bias. If you're a Republican, if you're conservative, you've red pill, you are shadow banned.
Right.
Like the Twitter now compared to what Twitter was pre-Elon, Twitter now is way better. I'm actually getting viewers. I have 37 people watching me live now on X on like my 16th little rinky-dink account, right? And I have 229,000 people subscribed to my YouTube channel and only 43 people are watching on that. That is like less than half of a percentage. Right. So I'm not bitching. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. These fucking people, that's all they can do to win is to cheat and to do the wrong thing. But eventually everything will come to light. We just have to endure and push through. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to teach you how to do all these things and more in the Masculine Empowerment Network. So go to the Masculine Empowerment Network. Get on the waiting list right now. We want 200 people on the waiting list. We have been going live for about 3 days promoting it now, and we are currently at 36 people. So 36 out of 200. We're going to keep on pushing, doing the right thing. Paul's going to be giving some presentations with us. And until then, guys, we'll catch you later. Peace out.